Entering a little late to the home computer boom, kick-started by the Commodore 64, the Atari 8-bit family, and the Sinclair ZX Spectrum, Lord Alan Sugar's brainchild of an affordable all-in-one computer system hit the European shelves in June 1984. With purpose-built components and a varied selection of launch games and good business attributes, the CPC464 went on to gain considerable popularity and it still has a strong fan support even today. 30 years have passed, so let's celebrate everything about that long, multi-brick coloured with a built-in tape deck, which gave joy to so many, including myself and my co-host and, of course, my honoured guests. Welcome to the 30th anniversary live stream of the Amstrad CPC464.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
The first thing I want to say is, would everyone welcome my co-host, Mr. Harry Yack?
Welcome, Harry Yack.
Hello, Harry.
How are you doing, Harry?
I don't know. How are you doing, Harry? I'm not Harry, I'm Barry.
Yeah. Oh, no, not Barry. He's not back, is he?
No, I'm only kidding, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, I'm Harry Yack, and welcome to this live stream, hosted by my humble friend, Mr. Retro and Lim Live, a.k.a. Novabug.
I'm stepping into the shoes today, yes, and I must admit, them shoes feel a little tight. But anyway, let's press on.
Hey!
Hey! And we're here to say...
Phil.
We're here to say a big congratulations to the Amstrad CPC464 for 30 years. It's graced us with its multicoloured keys, its built-in tape deck, its belt drive that snaps, its long tape loading, but we all love it, and we have guests that also love it as well. So I might say hello to them. Guests first of all is Mr. Retro and Lim himself, Stephen. How are you?
Good evening, everyone. I'm good. How are you doing? Are you doing all right?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm a bit overwhelmed actually by all this now. Well, I've got my Amstrad T-shirt on, so I'm trying to bear up. But it seems odd that it's been around for so long.
This is what happens when you reach 30, Chris.
30? Oh, I wish I was 30. Goodness, you've got to wind back a few years for that. Second guest I've got today loves his Amstrads as well. I think he grew up on them. He likes to talk about them quite a bit. His knowledge isn't great on them, but who cares? Mr. Carl Woodland, 37.
Greetings.
How are you?
Yeah,
Greetings, YouTube.
Thanks for having me.
I always like to say the greetings thing. We've got to have you say greetings, YouTube.
I did say greetings.
I see. I couldn't hear you. Harry was talking.
Yeah, Andy was clapping. He played his little piece, or you did. I don't know.
So, how are you both feeling on this day?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's pretty decent. I mean, the Amstrad for me was one of those things. You know, like I mean, I don't want to put it into today's terms, but you know when you've got a Wii U today, you kind of get laughed at for having that console and everybody else has got the big guns. Well, the Amstrad for me back then was kind of like that because all my friends had Spectrums and Commodores, in fact more Spectrums, and I think I was the only kid that had the Amstrad CPC464. You know, I got the one, I remember got it Christmas time, my mum got it me, and it was the green screen edition, which kind of didn't matter back then because, you know, it was just like gaming was kind of fresh, new, you didn't really need. I think I even had a black and white TV at the time. Yeah, it was just, and I got the, you might be able to help me out with this because I was trying to rack my brains over this. It was brand new, so I got was it 20 games in a long box of cassette? Was it 20 games, the Amsoft collection?
I think it was 12.
Was it 12?
I think it was 12.
All right.
I think the original 12 collection was the one that came with the original system. They later did the PP6 collecting box set, which came with more games.
It's like the Kellogg's variety of video games.
It was. Well, I was remember. I mean, you was playing Novabug. You was playing Fruit Machine Simulator, and I absolutely loved that. Why anyone loves that game? It's just stupid, but you do. It's got that. And Harrier Attack. I always loved that. And of course, everyone's favourite, Oh Mummy.
Oh, yes.
You know, that is just an absolute classic. What else was there? There was Rolling on the Ropes, Rolling in the Caves.
Yep.
Shit, what were the other? If we could
No,
name
that
those
wasn't the game.
12.
Bridget.
No.
Bridget
What was
was
it?
one.
Bridget, yeah, Bridget was one. That was pretty decent too, actually.
Was it? Really?
I think
Pretty decent.
I
You're outnumbered, Carl.
I think you're the first person to ever say that Bridget is pretty decent.
Well, I was going to say that.
I can already hear the psycho stalker tapping on his keyboard, screaming at the desk because he absolutely detests that game.
No, there's nothing wrong with that game. What was the other games in that pack?
You had Xanagrams.
What about
that was
Animal
the words
Vegetable
game.
Mineral?
That was the letters words thing, wasn't it?
Yes.
Xanagrams was that, yeah, and you also had Time Man 1. Never got my head around that one.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that game. I think I remember the name, but I don't remember quite what that was about. So.
Yes, I played it. It was a kid's game to teach you how to tell the time.
Oh, that's what it was.
Oh, right, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
We'll just break off for a second because we seem to have another guest, another 8-bit fan, Giles Iverhaler. How are you, sir?
I'm happy. I'm all right. I think I've got sunstroke.
What?
If you get sunstroke, does it mean you have to run off for a shit every 5 minutes?
No, that's just the shit.
Oh, I feel a bit rough. I feel a bit rough, to be honest. I've been out in the sun. I've been in a Formula One simulator. It's been a fantastic day of driving around.
Had a long day, mate.
I nearly went in an hot air balloon, but they couldn't get off the ground.
Well, you should have just blown in it.
Oh, yeah, full of hot air, me. So, yeah, thanks for inviting me on. I was watching it on YouTube thinking, what am I supposed to press? And I wasn't logged in, so I didn't have a doobry saying, click the button.
A doobry.
So who cares? I'm here now. Let's do it. Let's hear all about Amstrad.
At least you can confirm that the stream is working though, because you was watching. So the
stream's working.
Yeah.
The stream is working.
Do you want me to quickly tell you my Amstrad woes, and then I can go to sleep?
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
Unless you were busy saying something interesting.
No, we'll go back to no. Go on. Tell me, please tell me.
Oh,
Amstrad
anyhow,
woes.
so you know me bloody. Oh God, I'll tell you me camera woes. Fucking hell, I've got some bloody woes to tell you.
Was it made by Alan Sugar? Was the camera made by Alan Sugar, and that's why it doesn't work?
It's full of fucking dust. It may as well be sugar, but no, it's. I'm one of these people. If something's faulty, instead of like paying for someone to fix, I have a go. Oh fucking hell! I got to bust a camera. Oh shit!
In a bussy box.
Don't piss about with camera lenses because they're bastards. Anyway, so I've had to spend 130 quid on a new camera for the missus.
So camera to take away.
So what exactly is wrong with your GX4000, which is, by the way, a evolved version of the CPC464?
It's broken, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. You told me, unfortunately.
So I haven't plugged any of your nice fresh strawberries in it yet that you sent me.
I did pick them fresh for you.
But I will be plugging them in when I get me RAM chips. But they were baking hot. Chips don't get hot like that. Before I start getting me bloody multimeter out and all that sort of shit, I'm just going to do the obvious stuff first. Hello! And do the RAM. Do the RAM, it'll work. Then I'll plug all your shit in.
Yeah, you scared me.
I haven't finished. Don't put in. I haven't finished me woes.
Oh, sorry.
The last week, I'm on bloody eBay buying me flipping £20 464 with a green screen monitor and a load of bloody tapes. I was dead chuffed, and guess what? It hasn't come.
Yeah.
Put a case in, and they've just said, "Oh, we're gonna have your money back." Yeah, fucking fat bastards. I haven't even seen a picture of them, but they must.
Whoa! When you say fat bastards, I never fucking listed a fucking Amstrad with a green screen. Okay.
Yeah, but you mentioned it before. That's funny that you mentioned it 5 minutes ago, and I haven't got one, so you know all about them. I'm a bit pissed off. I'm a bit pissed off, and as I'm saying, I'm a bit pissed off now. I'm just going to add to me woes. I forgot to bid on the Amstrad that was on there, which was finishing. I bet it's gone now. This is all your fault. So there was an Amstrad bloody whatchamacallit with the tape and the cart, you know, the modern one. What are they? The Plus.
600.
464 Plus.
Oh, yeah, the Plus, yeah.
If it wasn't gone before, it will be now because you just publicised it, and Harry Yack just bought it.
I'm having no luck. As soon as that's going, anyhow, fucking go on, carry on.
The 464 Plus is rare as well. You'll be paid top dollar for that unless it's busted.
Well, so. it looked, it's when they're on auction. When they're not buy it now, they're dead expensive. When they're auctioning, you get stuff pretty reasonable.
I had one of those back in the day, but I didn't appreciate it like I would today. I didn't use it for the GX4000 functionalities that it had, or because I had a GX4000, but very few games. It was like one of those things just to play Burning Rubber, and that was it. And in the day I had Pang as well. I only had very few games, but I didn't like today. I would appreciate it more than what I did back then.
Pang is an awesome game.
Yeah,
Pang is one of the best games I think.
It's the best game on the system, isn't it? Really,
it is.
So,
yeah.
I never had a GX4000. I had the CPC128, and I loved that. There was an ace computer to have because the game it was just so piss cheap to buy stuff for. I could piss off to the petrol station with £2 and come back with a bloody game. It's brilliant.
I tell you, we'll get back to a discussion on what the best game of the 464 was though, because that will be heated. I would imagine. Anyway. We were talking about the 12 games that came, the Amsoft classics, Giles. Carl was mentioning he got the green screen system that you've mentioned yourself that you've been cunted on, it appears. What was it? What were the other? We got the Time Man one, which is some sort of kids tell the time game. Animal, vegetable, mineral.
Yes.
What the? How about that?
What the hell was that game? That was that little quiz thing, wasn't it?
It's a 20 questions kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing about it is you've got to teach the damn thing what the items are. He doesn't know. That's the funniest thing. Yeah, there it is. There you go.
It's funny. My word.
Animal, vegetable, mineral. I actually played that on a green screen version that my step brother, I suppose you could call him that, he had a green screen version of it, and I thought, well, I was taking a piss at the time because I had the colour version. And
you posh person.
There, and well, the fact that it was more alarming the fact that all he had was the Amsoft games as well. He didn't have anything else, and I was sitting there going, I got RoboCop and Power Drift and Chase HQ.
It went for £22 if you want to know. 22 fucking quid, £20 postage.
What, a 464 Plus?
Yeah.
That is an unbelievable price.
Yeah,
it's winging its way to Harry Yack as we speak.
No monitor, I take it.
No, just the computer by the looks of it.
Just use a HD screen and smother some green paint all over it. It's just the same.
You can Jimmy rig a SCART lead anyway, which is another thing about modifications, which we'll talk about. What was the Amstrad? The other one you held up there, Steve, was Galactic Plague, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, that was Oh yes. See, this is bringing. I knew this would bring back memories. This show, because I haven't seen that since I was a kid, or even had a thought about it until now. Yeah, that is absolutely amazing. But the one that I played the most was Harrier Attack. That was just absolutely.
That was a £2 game. That was one of me £2-pounders. It was a dreadful game.
I love it.
Do you know what it was about Harrier Attack?
What
it was on in a minute. You put the tape on, and it was on. So it was the one you didn't have to think about. You thought, what shall I wait 10 minutes to load fucking Green Beret, or shall I just Harrier Attack? Bang, it's on. It was crap when it was on, and it really hard.
See, I remember the flak. You used to get the flak in the sky.
Just
everywhere.
Goodness, don't talk to me about that. On level 5, on the hardest level, that game is absolutely impossible because invisible forces will shoot you down from absolutely everywhere. I swear. Talk about hard games. I mean, on level 1, you can do it with your eyes closed with one finger. But then on level 10, no chance.
I love the fact that if you bomb your own aircraft character, you're fucked at the end because it's not there.
Yeah. You have to carry on flying towards Argentina
until you run out of fuel, and that's it. Game over.
Yeah, they were just absolutely brilliant games, and I remember, they were always like $2.99 or $3.99, and just like 5 minutes walk from me, literally, there was this place called Mercury Software. It was Paperboy on the screen there. There was Mercury Software, and I used to go there, and of course, I used to get one game, and then I used to like kind of go back and say, record it. I used to tape it, okay, and then go back and say, this didn't work. I did. Honestly, I did. Who didn't do that? Come on.
I did. Oh, we all did that.
Yeah, we all did that and said this didn't work. And the more you did it, this kind of said, they knew, they kind of said, oh, hold on a minute, you can't do this again. So then I started keeping the games, and and then it spiraled onto like the $9.99. $9.99 for a game was like, whoa, that is expensive. The little box ones, but they look beautiful. I remember my first game I bought in the box variety, which was Rainbow Islands. That was $9.99. I remember that very well.
That's a brilliant game.
Yeah, it is.
The box sets were always very alluring, weren't they, when they came out?
Oh yeah.
You had the arcade screenshots on the back and the case start on the front. Wow, mate! Oh, what I've got to buy. You sit there, pay 20 quid for the damn thing, and it'd be full of tapes.
Yeah.
Like a fucking suitcase. And then you'd be disappointed with half the games and end up only playing one game, your favourite one. I think I did this with the compilation The Biz.
Oh.
It had R-Type on it. I had Operation Thunderbolt, Batman Cape Crusader. I can't remember the other game it had on it, but I literally bought it for I want to play R-Type on the CPC because I loved it in the arcade. Still one of my favourite ever shoot 'em ups, and I was so disappointed with its conversion on the CPC. It was such a shame because it was just support of the Spectrum version and laggy and slow and such a pity.
They do share a lot of the same components though, don't they? The Amstrad and the Spectrum.
They did, and so much so that I think there was one point I thought I got into my head. This is way before I knew anything about computers, and I got into my head that what if I borrow a mate's Spectrum game and copy that and see if it loads on the CPC. Yes, it sort of like I remember when I stuck it in the tape deck and it gave the and I thought, yes, it's loading, and fuck all happens. So,
good effort though.
Yeah. At least you got the loading experience, which is of course half the whole experience of the Amstrad CPC.
Oh yeah. Especially the 464.
Well, see, mine was a disc. I didn't have many discs for it, but that was flashing them on in no time. The old disc drive on it.
It was quick loading, the older Hitachi 3-inch.
Ah, was that it? Lovely.
Yeah, one of the only 6128 was one of the only systems to use that, and of course, the 464 you could put the DD1, the DDI1 onto it with the interface, so you get the same experience.
You are an Amstrad god. You just know all the bloody little dooblies, don't you?
Yeah, but Steve knows more than me. He's just sitting there nodding along. Cause
Chris, do you remember the Amstrad games that had a Spectrum on the other side?
I was going to mention this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the budget games had them, and they were billed on the front as saying ZX Spectrum / Amstrad CPC Schneider.
Yeah.
On the front.
I think it was a bit of a tight house move, don't you?
They were never good games. They were never ever good games. I don't think they ever released anything like that, which was good, did they? They were like shitty games, weren't they?
I can't remember any off the top of my head, to be honest. But I remember. Go on.
No, I don't think there was like big titles released like that because they were like always, machines specific. But I was going to say to you, when you mentioned R-Type there, do you not feel that you said that it was shit, was laggy, but back in the day, do you not think that playing that game on your home machine was just absolutely fantastic? But today you look at it and it's shit. But back then maybe not.
No, it was. I was stoked that I had an arcade game of that caliber, because everyone has arcade games that they really, really adore, especially back in that time, and you always wanted to see them appear on the system that you had, whatever that system was. and it was when it came out for the CPC, I was like, oh, amazing, yeah, I've got to get it. But I was expecting, I don't know what I was expecting. Even then, I was expecting something a little closer to the arcade in terms of playability. Yes, it looked like it, but because it was so laggy, I know the system can do better than this because I've played games that are faster and quicker and better rendered and everything else. So it did even disappoint me then. Look back on it now, it's yes, even more disappointing. But the brilliant thing is that the remake of it was absolutely awesome. If anybody have played that, the remake of R-Type,
Yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah,
it's absolutely unbelievable.
It
reminds me of
the.
So it reminds me of the TurboGrafx 16 version, because TurboGrafx 16 version was always my favourite home version of R-Type. Before obviously disc-based players came out, for instance, R-Types on the PlayStation. That the TurboGrafx 16 version just does such a good job, and it was near enough arcade perfect. And I looked at that Easter egg one. Is it Easter egg Steve that did it? The remake?
I think so. Yeah.
I think they called it that. Yeah.
Split in half, wasn't it? Wasn't it part 1 and part 2?
Yeah. Oh yeah, on the TurboGrafx as well. But the CPC remake was done by Easter Egg or something. They call themselves.
That's an interesting name.
It was incredible because it had all the music and everything. And the music was just like the arcade. And thanks, Charles.
Sorry, I was just showing you your gift to me.
What were your most anticipated arcade ports then for the CPC?
Who, me? Ben? Me? What?
All of you. Anyone, go for it.
Alter Beast for me.
Wow.
I remember and Outrun. I know Stephen just showed Outrun and Alter Beast. I remember those games, playing them in the arcade, and Shinobi.
Yeah.
Shinobi as well. So I remember those ones vividly. And
I bet you were disappointed without one.
Yeah, pretty much. Who wasn't?
That's what you call a US Gold classic. In other words, completely screwed.
I was going to say that today you've got EA and Ubisoft or whatever, but back then, do you not think it was like Gremlin and then it was like Ocean and then US Gold, but the big daddy of them all for me, which I love, was Codemasters. Whatever they brought out, I made a beeline for. A fucking ski simulator. I don't even like skiing, but that fucking game was brilliant. Like ATV simulator. They had a simulator for everything. It was just brilliant. I'm going off the subject, but it's all about Amstrad, isn't it?
Carl, did you ever have a football simulator, a punk football simulator called Street Gang Football?
I did not.
That was by Codemasters.
I don't remember that. Absolutely not, no. Street Gang Punk Football?
Street Punk to fuck you?
Yeah.
I can imagine the cover now with like rockers with like Mohicans.
I do believe a version of that was on Codemasters 4 Soccer Simulator. Is that right?
Could well be.
Street football?
I don't know.
Because you had, I remember the 4 Soccer Simulator thing, which was a vertical up and down, kind of like an early Super Soccer, if you will, without the perspective. And that was so bad. It was funny, but you had 11-a-side football, you had indoor football, you had what they called soccer skills, which was such a cop-out, and street football. But the thing is that street football, indoor football, and it's 11-a-side were almost identical.
Oh, somebody's got someone. It's the. Is that Harry who's got that?
Yeah, I've put a screenshot up there of Street Gang Football, which is pretty much exactly what Kyle just described. With the
oh my God! Isn't it?
I'll tell you what. You look at that though. That's really pretty, isn't it? The graphics there are really pretty, and that's one thing that the CPC did really well. It did some pretty graphics.
I thought, like, even on Barbarian when that was out, everyone liked that.
Oh yes.
But the CPC version was better looking than the 64, which was its like main bloody competitor, wasn't it? And we mate had the 64, so that was the one game that came out. I could say, but it looks better. But then he'd just say the sound's not as good, and I'd go, fuck off.
So did any of you guys, as I was saying before, I was the only one that had an Amstrad. I was like the black sheep of like all my friends. They had all Spectres, Commodores. Was you the only guys that had the Amstrad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
with your friends. Why is that? Do you not find that funny?
My dad bought it. I got all my computer, and whatever from my dad. So he was the main. It was his computer. So it wasn't like a Christmas present or anything. He just came home with it, wallop on the table, and I just start pissing about with it. So it wasn't something I picked. But I probably wouldn't have picked a. I don't know if I was that into computers then. I'm more into computers now. But he was certainly the one picking the technology and what have you.
Yeah.
Because the Amstrad was more of a word processor type thing. It was marketed as a business machine, wasn't it?
That's it, yeah.
I think that's what the husbands were telling the wives when they were buying it.
Or was it classed as a business machine just because of who made it, who was behind it?
Well, it was marketed as both. As
with the monitor and all that
home.
coming with it, and you could have all the periphery with it, all the different the printer and all that. It looked like a little office PC, didn't it?
Oh, wasn't there a piece of software with Amsoft to do with like Office? Was it Office something?
Easy Amsword.
Easy Amsword, that was it. Yes, I knew there was something when we was talking about that. See, I knew this had all come back, reminiscing. I knew it had all come back. Yeah.
Because it had CMP/M compatibility as well, and it's locomotive basic.
Sorry, did anyone fucking understand what he just said there? Because
I think Steve might have done.
Something about a train, Kylie Minogue.
He knows everything.
That's a 664 there. That's a 664 there. That was short-lived. That's not a 464. Sorry.
Oh, is that banned from the stream then? Because that's
664 is often forgotten because it only lasted 6 months before it was superseded by the 612 anyway.
How long did that 128 last? Because I remember, I don't know if it's just everything seemed faster then. I don't know, but I had my Amstrad, and then like in the blink of an eye, I had an Atari ST, and then within the blink of an eye, I had an Amiga. So it was as if they didn't last long at all. Like that 128, it wasn't,
When you got that,
remember using it for like 6 months. But I'm a lot older than you, aren't I? So.
Well, I don't know, but I think they released too many different models in a short space of time. If I'm honest, that's why it didn't work, kind of thing. I mean, the 464 was the, ultimate kind of bloody machine, wasn't it? It was the one that.
What was its lifespan? How long did you have one and use it for?
Me, I had it until I got my Amiga.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had it until I got my Amiga, which that's a different story. But the 464, just absolutely loved it. But the funny thing is, I've never. I mean, you guys know you've obviously played one recently, but I've never had one since I was a kid, and I've never really emulated it until the last year. To play games, kind of thing. So
I'm itching to get my hands on one again. I really am.
Yeah, well, the funny thing was about, Stephen's showing his colour screen one there. But the funny thing was with me, my mum. The reason why I got into gaming very briefly is because I've got terrible eczema on my hands, and I was always scratching and whatnot.
I got awful eczema all over.
Yeah, all over. Yeah, same with me. Just not on my cock.
Hold on a second.
My cock is eczema free. It's huge and it's huge. My cock is and eczema free. The rest of me is just I'm just like a fucking crocodile.
Yeah,
stop bringing it back to your cock.
No, exactly. No, but I'm just saying the reason why I got this fucking thing. My mum was always dead against games, because they would just held my attention. But she bought me the bloody Atari 2600. And then because that kind of must have helped, it must have worked when my eczema and whatnot, keeping your hands busy and whatnot, so you're not always scratching. Scratching. There's the word. Scratching. You're not always scratching. And then she got me the Amstrad, which
That'll
was
stop you scratching this stuff.
Oh, Benefit. Benefit doesn't work for me. That only Foozy Bet works for me.
I've never tried that.
You should do. It'll blow your fucking tits off. Your cock. But yeah, and I got. That's what I got. I got the. She got me the green screen thing. That's how she got it because it seemed to work for me. Otherwise, I might never have been into gaming. But the Amstrad, my first love, it still is, you know. But she bought me the add-ons. That was funny about my mum. She bought me the TV tuner. You know, I got the colour screen monitor afterwards, and I got the TV tuner.
I had the voice synthesizer.
Oh right, okay.
The block that plugged into the back of it, and then you could just tell people to fuck off and
I didn't know that.
and all this sort of stuff.
Well, speaking of which, do you think we should go to the comments? Because we've had quite a few. And surprisingly, there's quite a few Amstrad CPC fans out there, closet or otherwise, and they're all chatting away. So,
excellent.
JL76 Gaming left this comment at 8:31 PM. Where are ya? In the same style as Delia Smith, I'm guessing. And the Psycho Stalker says, happy birthday, the Amstrad CPC. Yes, happy birthday. Costardo agrees. He says, happy birthday, CPC. Unfortunately, you were never sold in the Netherlands, so I feel I hardly know you.
Right. I didn't know that.
Missed out there.
It was big in France, wasn't it? It was big in France.
It was massive in France, and Greece, Spain, and Italy. Spain much as well.
There was Indescom, wasn't there? Wasn't that the first Spanish video game software house? Is that correct?
I think maybe Indescom made Roland on the Ropes.
I can check this.
So Schneider, was it not big in Germany? Is that not the German?
Schneider is the marketing arm of Amstrad in Germany. They for some reason they couldn't get the rights to market as the Amstrad brand over there, so Sugar partnered with Schneider over there and released the systems. Slightly modified, ever so slightly modified, keyboards mostly, under the Schneider brand. It was essentially the same system.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I know why. Yeah.
So, and to stop any confusion when they marketed the games, you got on the top. I mean, a lot of us didn't know about Schneider. We pick up a budget game and it says on the top CPC464 / Schneider, and you're like, what? I think fucking made by bloody Germans.
Who's this Schneider fella? A German footballer of some sort.
Rob Schneider.
The Psycho Stalker says he got his CPC in '93. What a top computer! The 6.4. Hello, Harry Yack and Novabug.
Hi, guy. Hello, Matt.
Yep, Luke Weatherly is here. He says, animal, vegetable, mineral. I presume he's answering our earlier question, which we
that is my brother. That is my brother.
I don't think we've got the whole 12 though. I don't think we've got the whole 12, have we? I'm not too sure.
What were the others?
I think we may have.
We may have we?
Many of them. Did you say Roland in the Caves, which was a complete rip-off of Ants, I think. I
think somebody would have to write them down so that we know we've got them. But I bet you there's fucking one missing. I bet you were missing one. It's just always the way, isn't it? We'll have 11.
The name of the Roland in the Caves game was Bugaboo the Flea.
That's it, Bugaboo the Flea. Yes, good on the Spectrum. Yeah.
Right, here are the 12. Here are the 12. Animal, vegetable, mineral, Bridget, Easy Am's Word, Fruit Machine, The Galactic Plague, Harrier Attack, Oh Mummy, Roland in the Caves and Roland on the Ropes, Sultan's Maze.
Oh, that, yes!
Sultan's Maze, yes.
Yeah.
Damn it.
There's always one. It's always one.
Yeah, how could we forget? It was the best one.
It was probably apart from Oh Mummy, of course. Of course.
Oh Mummy was just ridiculously addictive. I mean, it was just such a simple game, but you spent hours on it. And the great thing about Amsoft games was that I think Harry, you mentioned. Someone said of this. Giles, you said this earlier. They loaded very quickly. Yeah. So if you're in a quick, nowadays I'll just grab a quick 10 minutes on Mario Kart 8 or whatever. It loads up straight away. And when you had the Amstrad, it's like, right, what can I play that will load really quickly? Quick 10 minutes on. Or any of the Amsoft games is fine. You don't pick anything like Batman the movie or Shinobi or The Bells, which took about half an hour to load. You'd always do that.
But they don't take that long. It seemed like half an hour then, but I got this old Commodore 64, didn't I, the other month?
Yeah.
And they're on in 5 minutes. All of them. There's no massive wait. But back then it was like, it's on. It's hours, but it's not. It's just, they're on.
It's the anticipation. It was the anticipation to get waggling your joystick, particularly your joystick.
The thing was, back then, I don't think you minded the waiting time because you didn't know any different. But today, if you played them, then it's a bit different, isn't it? Maybe.
Harry, yes.
I don't know.
Harry, yes. Go on.
I was going to say that was half the fun waiting for the games to load, but I've already said that once, so I think we should go back to the comments because we have many, many more. Infected Flinch says, "Hey up, fellas, I'm at work. Behave yourselves."
Always.
Hello, Infected Boy, as Dave calls you. That's the other Dave, by the way. Colo CPC says, "Greetings, Amstradaholics. Greetings, Colo."
Fellow Amstrad man.
Yes.
The CPC owners. Psycho Stalker says, "Amstrad, I already had 3 by the time I got, and it still works today. I wish I still had it. I still love Oh Mummy."
Yeah. Well, what's not to like about Old Mummy? I mean,
I'm just trying to fill in the blanks.
you got to do that.
Yeah.
Amstrad, I already had 3 owner by the time I got, and it still
What
works
happens
today.
next? Yeah, this is like Xanagrams, whatever it's we're playing it right now live.
Yeah, live Xanagrams. Make a sentence out of the following words.
Yes.
Please, sodding, you're shut.
We're only joking, man. We're only joking.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Jail76 Gaming says, "Evo Halo's looking a bit suntanned today."
Fucking hell, is it sun? I've got sunstroke. Saw this bloody Formula 1 driving I've been doing, which was crap. I was 3rd fastest. I know you're interested. 3rd fastest.
How many Formula 1 games are on the 464?
Well, there was Continental Circus.
Oh, yes. Le Mans.
Yeah, it's not Formula 1 quite, is it, really? But I see where you're going with that.
It's a racing game.
It's a game.
Wasn't there an Amsoft one?
Wasn't Super Circuit, wasn't it?
What was that, Stephen?
Wasn't there an Amsoft Grand Prix game?
Oh. Was the one called Super Sprint or something similar?
Super
Sprint. Yeah, Super Sprint. Yeah, it was a top. That was a top down.
Sure, Amsoft did one as well.
I'm wrecking my brains now. Possibly.
I don't think I know it.
3D Grand Prix.
3D Grand Prix. Blimey.
Yes.
I've never played that one. Never heard of it either.
That's a strange thing. 30 years later, and I'm still learning stuff about this machine.
Yeah.
I think it was, in Britain, I think it was known as Amsoft Grand Prix Driver.
Blasted Amsoft jumping on everything. Well, according to Wikipedia, 1985, Mastertronic released Formula 1 Simulator, while in the same year, the CRL Group released just Formula 1 was the name of the game. Oh, and that was a management game, actually.
Management.
I always remember the Formula 1 game. You know, for Codemasters. Because it was the first game that I got that had the digitized speech, is it? At the beginning?
I bet that sounded horrible. Did you not need a special add-on for that, though?
No. It was like 3, 2, 1, go.
Really? Oh, because
excellent.
I remember John Higgins' Snooker. That required a special add-on to hear the digitized sound effects, and the experience is really diluted when you're playing on a green screen as well. So imagine that, playing a snooker game, where you need to know which colours the balls are on a green screen monitor. A nightmare.
I think you get used to it though, don't you? It's like watching snooker on a black and white telly. You know, you kind of get used to the different shade, don't you? You do. I remember playing.
Yeah, I agree. You do.
You do. You get used to the different shade, and you know what they are. But yeah, it takes some getting used to, of course.
Am I correct in saying we have a new entrant to the call, who's been here for a while, but he's just been in the background, breathing down his microphone?
Am I breathing? Sorry.
Yes, stop breathing, Stu.
Hello, how you doing?
How you doing, Stu?
Hi, Stu.
Yeah, good, thanks.
We see you have the Amstrad CPC loaded up there.
Excellent.
Well, it's not quite loaded. It's waiting for me to press play. So,
press play. What have you loaded?
well, let's find out.
Oh, we're going to have some
Let's have a look.
gameplay.
I'll turn it down. We don't want the squealing.
I want to hear it squeal.
Yes,
I haven't heard the
Oh,
squeal.
okay, then.
Oh, sorry. Do you know? I know who it is now. I was just racking my brains to think about who it was. I know who it is. Of course. Yeah, he's. In fact, you've just picked up a. I don't.
Oh, I can't see what it is. Hang on.
Move your eyes closer
Outrun!
to the screen.
Please, are we really going to watch Outrun? I mean,
Stu!
we're trying to look at the CPC
Yeah.
in a good light here.
Didn't we do this once already? Why do we have to relive this?
Ah, because this time it's in colour.
Ooh, no,
Last
it
time.
doesn't count.
Last time it was
Stuart.
green screen.
Stuart, is this the actual real version? Is it on your Amstrad?
Yeah, of course.
Have you got the tape with it as well?
For the box.
No. Is it the original or is it like a budget edition?
Oh,
Did it come with another disc?
it says Amstrad CPC set Outrun on kicks.
Is it? Oh, kicks. The original came with an audio tape as well that you could put in.
Oh, right. No, it's just one
Oh,
tape.
there it did. So you could play all the.
Yeah.
Bloody yes. God, how you woke that little memory there. It's fading fast though. But yeah, there was a I remember. Well done, that man.
Congratulations. Well, while we wait for this fantastic game to load, it's time for
It's
some
nearly loaded the title screen.
I'll have to be quick then with these comments. Chris of Shank says, "What a bunch of see you next Tuesdays."
That's nice.
While Smooth MJ says, "Hi Smooth." He says, "I have a perfectly working Super Clean 464 Plus and a 6128 Plus."
He does.
I've been watching the progress of the cleaning on Google Plus.
Yeah.
He's also been doing a very, very good restoration of original 464 as well, which I was impressed by. So you continue with that, mate, because that's good.
Yeah, he does a lot of great mods and things like that. And, you know, he's an absolute fucking genius with what he can do.
Oh, he is,
You know,
yeah.
mods on anything. You know, he's very clever.
Aside from the game, that loading screen looks pretty nice. Unfortunately, that's the best bit of it.
Do you know what we're waiting for? We're waiting
The
for
levels.
the menu.
It loads on.
The levels come after.
It loads after, doesn't it? Yeah. Multi-load.
I think that the best thing that I like about the CPC is because I grew up on the Spectrum, and this effectively is an updated Spectrum in comparison, because the graphics are better. But the best feature I like about it is the fact that the tape deck starts and stops by itself.
Yeah.
I just find it amazing. Because when the menu loads up, it will just stop, and then you press a button, and it will load the next level. Whereas the Spectrum, you know, you just play it, and it just plays till the end.
Yeah.
Tell you what, ahead of its time, the Amstrad CPC.
Little things like that you just wouldn't notice though, isn't it?
It's a pity about the game.
I don't know, we'll wait for it to start. I remember it being alright. Oh! It's a bit loud.
Oh, don't. You might have your neighbours knocking on the walls again.
Well, that sounds bloody good to me.
Well, they're already up there. I don't know what they're playing, something.
They're playing Outrun 2. They beat you to it.
Outrun 64.
Yeah.
64K.
Outrun for the Wii. Oh,
There were better races, let's be honest, but that music's not too bad.
I don't know why I was so pissed off about the what was the. I'll have to listen to myself after. The 64 must have been sounded better. Because my mate always used to say how much better it was. It was better at the time.
The 64 had a great sound chip, the SID chip. The sound chip in the CPC was the AY38912. Yeah, I think that's right. Same sound chip that's in the ST, slightly modified.
Yeah.
That's probably why when you got your ST, Giles, you thought, this sounds a bit like the CPC. Same sound chip.
That's why I got rid of the ST, because everyone said, oh, he's got a Spectrum sound chip. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
you can't win.
Pretty much. Pretty much, but you know, it can still do sample speech. I remember my cousin had an ST, and he had the sampled speech on it, and it sounded exactly like the sample speech thing that you said you had on the 464.
Yeah.
So I wasn't impressed.
No.
Welcome to your That's about it. Yeah, that's a quite an accurate representation. That
Sounded like Donald Duck.
Donald
Right,
Duck on CPC.
Some more comments. The game shed is here. They say, buongiorno, fellas.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
And the Psycho Stalker loves animal, vegetable, mineral. He says he loaded the tape and threw it out of the window.
And was it a vegetable?
It was run over. JL76 Gaming says, if Amstrad was the Wii U of the 80s, then what was the Atari XE? Which is what I had. I never owned an Amstrad, but I have played one at a friend's house back in the day. I remember we were playing a Yogi Bear game.
My word. I don't remember that. I was thinking about multi-load because we're looking at a multi-load now. Multi-loads. What multi-load game was your bugbear, everyone? Because mine was Batman. Because you had to wait for the multi-load after every stage. Only 5 stages, but each stage seemed to take an age to multi-load. And I remember getting it on the GX. Amazing, because it was instant.
Stu, do I have your permission to go and get a cup of coffee while I'm waiting for this to load?
Do you know what? I think it's because I think the tracks are on side 2, so I've had to rewind the tape and turn it over.
What? So the first side was wholly given over to the artwork?
Yeah, the first side was the menu.
What?
You wait all that time so you can press 1 to start the game. Then you have to turn the tape over, rewind it, and then play it to get track 1.
How many kilobytes do you think that must have been, that one piece of art?
I don't know, probably half the RAM.
It used to take a lot of time just loading the loading screen, which is always quite funny. I always preferred the ones which did it by lines, so it would gradually fill it up like a puzzle. And you think, oh, I wonder what it's going to look like.
Yeah, but if you think about it, it's good marketing sense because the loading screens sell the games. Because in those days, they didn't have television programs that showed the game in action. They only had screen grabs. So you'd have a screen grab from the game, and then the ones that they'd send out to the magazines were the main artwork for the game, the title screen. And that would be what people would buy the game based on, so it probably would have been worth half a side.
That's it's true. A lot of the time, sometimes they would put the loading screen in a different mode, graphic mode, so that it would look better than the actual game looks.
Well, that's belted,
a lot of the time, they would do like a mode 1 loading screen, and it would look really high def, and think, "Wow, this is going to be fantastic." And then the game loads up in mode O, and yes, we've got loads of colours, and it does look pretty, but it's blocky. I think.
I'm guessing that the CPC doesn't work with a Mega Drive controller.
Let's try.
Okay. I thought you'd be able to hack it to be able to accept that. Now, speaking of hacking, Smooth MJ says he used to disassemble the cassette and swap the reels with the unworking pirated copy. And that way, if they tested the game, it did indeed not work. Meanwhile, I had the original reels on a new cassette.
We used to get the old biro out. A big biro would somehow always perfectly fit into the spool, and you'd straighten it up. How many times did it chew the tape up, and you think, oh, the game's ruined? You'd straighten it up with a big biro, and it works. It's like magic. If it happened to a disc, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, imagine doing that to a Nintendo Wii game.
Yeah. Oh, the disc is scratched. You just take it out and give it a rub. Give it a rub, Giles. Give it a rub, and then stick it back in. Excuse me, and it works like a charm.
Is that him actually playing this? Is it that slow?
There's a problem with the cable, some dodgy cable. But no, it's not actually moving. Here we go. Look, I'm going now.
Oh, right.
There we go. Look, I'm doing 100k, 140k.
Stu, it wasn't this jerky when we streamed before?
It was in black and white before.
Oh, I believe it was in full colour.
Yeah, this is colour now. Yeah.
It doesn't look that bad now, looking at it.
Yeah, the colour looks great.
It's just that the sound isn't great. I don't know if you actually heard it. I'll turn it up a bit.
I heard it.
Yeah, that's
like
the wheel
kicking the duck.
screeching. If I go too fast... Oh, there you go, I hit something.
Fucking that sounds like
farted.
you dropped something.
Why is there a tree in the middle of the road?
California.
California, hey.
The road's green.
California.
It's riding on grass. California. Yeah. Speaking of Arnold, Colo CPC says Schneider is the model name of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, don't start all that.
Oh, I didn't start it. Colo did.
Oh. Colo,
Naughty, naughty.
what was your favourite racing game then? What was your favourite racing game on a CPC?
The
I'll tell you what mine was. We can't include anything on the GX4000, so burning rubber and all that kind of stuff. But I always loved Buggy Boy. I love Buggy Boy.
I loved that on the Amiga. I hammered that on the Amiga. That was brilliant. I'm sorry I keep saying it's got the Commodore stuff, but it was ace on the Amiga. We didn't have it on the Amstrad. I just loved the game.
I've got the Commodore here if you want me to plug it in.
No.
Don't do that, Christ.
Right, you will be kicked off this stream. This is Amstrad only.
I was just looking at this Outrun, playing the Outrun, thinking, God, it's really good. I don't remember it looking quite as good as that. And then I just put YouTube and I'd look at the Commodore 64, and then it's like, that's why.
We've had a message from Burt Reynolds. I don't know if I should read this out, but he says...
It won't be clean, not at this time of night.
No, it's clean. Tommy Wiseau... Hold on. Tommy Wiseau from The Room is a worse actor than Arnie in Hercules in New York.
He's watching the movies again, isn't he? He's slipping his movie reviews into this live stream.
Oh no, don't worry. Right. Back to the comments then. Colo CPC says, the 6128 probably lasted to about 1992. Very little software was launched after that date, and the Amiga had been out for a while. He thinks he got his Amiga in 92, 93.
Yeah, around that time. I mean, the CPC dragged on. It did. Early 90s. It lasted until 92, maybe. I think it was 92.
Oh yeah, there were games released right up through the 90s as well, I believe. Mostly homebrew. But Smooth MJ, on the subject of the 6128, says the 6128 floppy drive was manufactured by Matsushita.
Oh, I thought it was Hitachi. Don't know why I thought that. Were they related to that Hitachi or?
It's an Amstrad CPC throwdown between Smooth MJ and Novabug.
No, because Smooth MJ will win. He'll win on that one. I'll be ground into the dust. I'm not even going to bother.
Speaking of Smooth, he says Monopoly, Cluedo, Scalextric, Daley Thompson's Super Test, and Hunchback also released on Amsoft and given away free.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Possibly, yeah. Can't remember. My memory's terrible.
There's some terrible Amsoft games, I should say. There's stuff like Quackerjack, which... and what was the other one? Oh, there was Haunted Hedges, which was quite alright, actually. It was a Pac-Man clone, except you were a man running around a hedge maze. It was like the Pac-Man version of Sultan's Maze. Jail76 Gaming has corrected me. He says, I think you might mean Alex Higgins Snooker because John is a bit younger. I stand corrected. I am indeed wrong on that. I apologise. But there again, I wasn't around for very long in the 80s. Wingnut says, hello guys. Sorry I haven't been on because my working schedule sucks.
Yeah, work gets in the way of gaming. It's not good enough.
We're almost up to date with the comments. Costado says, I suppose there was big money in the arcade conversions back in the day, but to be honest, from halfway into the 80s, most were much too advanced for the faithful 8-bit versions.
I think that was it. We would have a coin op. It was like, oh, got to come out on the home system, especially the CPC. I think a lot of the time the magazines would. You'd think it would be better than it was because the magazines would print screenshots of the arcade and then say it was, oh, this is what it's going to look like. I remember Final Fight being shown in Amstrad Action, and just matched that up. and you think, oh, that's going to look fantastic, and it looked okay. Unfortunately, it played really badly because they just invested so much into the graphics. So happened a lot, I think. Shadow Warriors was another. It looked really, really nice, but we're going to come on to this. The problem with a lot of the games was the flick screen. It's a bugbear of the Amstrad because the Spectrum could do the scrolling. The Commodore obviously did the parallax scrolling, and a lot of the time the ports on the Amstrad would have that flick screen. You could think of Ghouls and Ghosts is one flick screen, and of course Grisor, which is a fantastic conversion, but it has that flick screen, which is such an annoyance. It really is.
Well, I'm going to have to look it up. I don't know what you're on about.
The ending screen from Grisor on the Amstrad CPC is quite simply the best in any video game ever. I'll try and get a picture up of that, but just to bring us completely up to date on the comments, Smooth MJ says, you could trick the Ocean software multiloader into loading the last level of a game. What you would do is, when the screen says looking for level 1, you play the tape until you see found level 1, and then fast forward the tape ahead to whatever level you wanted.
That's right. Yeah. If you knew where, you could do that on a counter. If you knew where it was on the counter, you could do that. Yeah. It wouldn't work with some games, but most games, yeah, it would work. Cheating. And of course, we had the pokes in the magazines.
Oh, I see what you mean, Chris. And it sort of jogs the whole screen across instead of scrolling.
It's a flick screen.
There you go.
It's something that the Amstrad did all the time, the flick screen. Sometimes it would scroll the flick screen along, sometimes it would just, like Dizzy, change. But I think a game like Dizzy, it got away with it because you kind of really don't notice it in Dizzy. But with a game like Grisor, which is obviously based off Contra, you're so used to seeing Contra in its traditional NES way. It looks fantastic, it plays really nice, but that flick screen thing is just something that I think the Amstrad fans had to bear with. Happened a lot. But they're saying that was it? Who mentioned Shinobi earlier? Was it you, Cole?
Yeah.
That was a fantastic conversion, an absolutely brilliant conversion. It really looked so faithful to the arcade, played like the arcade, had all the elements of the arcade, more so than the TG16 version, which actually cut out levels.
Before we go to Stu's game, though, can we just see the ending screen for Grisor on my screen?
Yep.
It says, congratulations, you have saved the Earth from the evil alien threat. Unfortunately, destroying the heart activates a self-destruct mechanism which blows up the whole planet. How sad.
Oh well. So easy come, easy go on that one.
Chris, before I was mentioning about the speech on the Grand Prix for the Codemasters. That's the one.
That's the one there, is it? Oh, yeah. Yes, it's very Super Sprint, isn't it? Kind of reminiscent of Super Sprint.
Was there a lot of... Sorry.
I was going to tell you, synthesized speech was quite rare, wasn't it, on the Amstrad? I remember the first time I actually heard the speech, because I remember I missed this one, but the first time I heard it was at the beginning of Treasure Island Dizzy. Yeah. When it screams at you, Codemasters. Oh no, that's a different one. It screams at you, Treasure Island Dizzy, and which I thought, wow, that's really good.
Was that released on Quattro Adventures?
What, this Grand Prix one?
And I believe that was on the NES, actually. Sorry. That doesn't count because that's not Amstrad CPC.
No, this was one of the first ones on the Amstrad.
It's good, that. Looks quite detailed. You know, it reminds me of...
What's the yellow car doing? It's sort of like shot across...
I don't know what the controls are.
Oh, right. That's not you, the grey car, is it? I thought it was.
The yellow car's me. I'm trying to find the steering.
I can't even see the yellow car.
It's up at the top.
Oh, it's at the top there. Right.
It's like red.
Right. No, get this. The accelerator is F. So try and work out what's left and right.
It's just sorted in the corner.
Stuart,
hang on, I think I found it.
Can you get the sound on?
Hey?
Can you get the sound on?
Sound on. There you go.
Can you put the digitized speech on in a minute? It should come when it finishes.
I found a key. I've got the controls now. Yeah.
He's off. Hey, it's end of it.
Yeah, it did speak just then.
It does at the beginning, doesn't it?
There's like a whiny sound though over the
Turn
top
it
of
off.
it. Can you
Turn
hear
it
it?
off.
So
That's
yes,
supposed
turn
to
it
sound.
up.
Them F1 cars at the top look good.
Yeah, press it now.
Hey! Oh, I don't know what you're saying about. That was as clear as crystal to me.
Only because it came up on the screen. If it
Oh, that's
didn't,
gonna
you wouldn't
waste
know
it.
what the heck it was saying.
Oh, I knew what it said.
You tell me. Hang on a second. Let me just turn this down. Can this go on the Retro Records?
Do it live. Yeah, you found the controls.
Right. So forward is F. Left and right is Z and X.
Nice.
Really?
So I'm having to steer with my left hand and accelerate with my right.
Go on, Stu, you can do it.
So we've already established. Well, I like Buggy Boy, and it seems that Steve likes this. What other racing games did you guys like?
I'm going to reiterate Continental Circus, which I never actually completed, I don't believe. It took me ages to figure out that you had to change gears. There's a quite humorous video that I posted of that on my YouTube channel, one of the first ones I ever posted. But I don't know if back in the day I ever actually got past the changing gears thing, because I never used to read the cardboard inserts, except to cheat in Fruit Machine. But yeah, I used to,
cardboard inserts in the tape, yeah.
but I must have got past the first level, because I remember really enjoying that and playing that for ages.
It was a good game.
The only problem I had with it, that you had to hold the joystick up to accelerate. So if you wanted to turn left or right, you had to sort of push it forward with your right hand, the joystick that is, and then hold it down with your left hand so it wouldn't go flying through your screen when you're pushing forward.
Were you into the racing games, Carl?
You know what? I've never been a great racing fan, so which is pretty much. I've got nothing to bring to this, but I like the arcade races. But the one that stuck out in my mind that I kind of play quite a lot, although looking back on it now, it is fucking terrible, which is Power Drift. I remember buying Power Drift when it first came out in the big box version, and then kind of not enjoying it. But I never played the arcade version previous to it, so it was kind of like a new thing for me. Because obviously, you looked in magazines, saw the reviews, and that's how you judge the games. That's how you got your information on the games. It wasn't via the internet and whatnot.
Oh yeah, back there.
So you know, I was the one that used to code in. Used to spend 2 hours doing the coding of the codes from the Amstrad magazines, doing the code, and all you got was a fucking picture of bastard fucking Ernie or Bert.
The tie-ins. You did the tie-ins.
It came up with a which I used to. Why have I brought that up? I don't know, but I was just saying.
I'm glad you brought that up actually, because it was something I wanted to talk about. Because it was. I mean, how many hours did we lose doing the tie-ins off the magazines, and then you get one fucking thing wrong, and the whole thing's a load of shit and don't work at all. And
it's exactly right. That.
I remember doing that.
Yeah, no, I used to love doing that. I always used to, because they always used to have little, very primitive games, didn't they? That you could do. And I always used to put those. And they used to get your demos and things like that, which you do today on some magazines. I loved it. Absolutely loved it back then, because that's how you got. The reviews meant something.
Yeah.
Now. You just don't give a shit because IGN will rate this and then GameSpot will rate that. And you don't listen to reviews these days, but back then you really did. They meant something.
What's about independent reviews? I mean, most independent reviews now exist on media such as YouTube and Facebook and kind of thing. Magazine interviews are seemingly very biased to their brand. So it's part of competition in business, I suppose, nowadays. Back then, no one gave a shit about that kind of thing because we just wanted to. It was all quite new anyway. It was very difficult to compare a lot of things to what had gone on before, because a lot of things that came out on any platform were sort of like never seen before. So
yeah, definitely, definitely. I'm just looking forward to your favourite game on Amstrad CPC464 because I've got one. I'm just waiting for the moment. I'm waiting.
We're coming to that.
That's going to be the pinnacle, isn't it? That's going to be the end, isn't it?
We're coming to that. We're coming to that.
Oh.
So staying with the typings, there was. Did you ever? Because what they did is also you had the cheat codes you could type in as well for the certain games.
Yes.
Could you ever get them to work?
Well, I've never ever been a cheater in video games. I've never tried them. Never.
You must have tried one at least.
Okay. In all honesty, the only thing I've ever tried to do was the codes on Mortal Kombat. You know, the AA, BBCs, whatever the fucking hell it was, to do something like that. But that was on the Mega Drive. But I've never ever. I've just never cheated. Never done it. Never interested me.
Oh, you goody two shoes.
I know. Who would have thought? But I've never done it.
In the early days, I didn't understand what that meant. Because especially in Amstrad Action, you used to put it as the poke, and you said, "What does that actually?" I didn't understand what it meant, and I sat down. I think it must have been 2 or 3 months of owning the 464. I sat down with this copy of Amstrad Action, and I looked through it, and I saw this game listed, and it said Prohibition. It was a shoot 'em up, and I thought, yeah. And there was a code to it, and I thought, oh, I can type the game in. That's what I thought I could do. I could type the game in. So I sat there, I typed it all in, and then it was my father that pointed out. He was reading the magazine probably. My father pointed out, well, this isn't the actual game. This is something to change the game. And I sat there thinking, what a fucking pillock.
Do you know what's funny? You mentioned about racing games. I know Stu's got a game on here. And I must admit, I never played it on. Never a big fan of racing games, like I've said, but I've never played it on Amstrad. But he's loading it up right now. But I used to play the Amiga version so much of this game.
It's a classic game.
The Jaguar XJ, whatever it was on the Amiga.
As well.
But this isn't about the Amiga, but I'm just going on. But that game, I would love to see this on Amstrad because I never have. And,
it's really nice. It's really nice.
I love playing it on the Amiga, yeah. So.
Yeah, loads of screens.
Footage of this.
Wired up if you want me to turn it on.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to see something about that because I didn't even know it was available on Amstrad, if I'm totally honest. So, yeah.
Yeah, it came out on loads of platforms, and yeah, the Mega Drive version was decent. All the versions of it were decent, I think. Spectrum version was good, but we're not talking about that.
Like I had my Amstrad. 1990. That's when I was leaving school. So I had an Amiga by then. So it must have been like 87 or something like that. I had the Amstrad.
I think I had when I was about 9 years old, something like that, 9 or 10 years old, because this is a morbid story that we'll move on extremely quickly from, and it's not going to upset me.
Here we go.
I just remember, no, it's not going to upset me. Don't worry. Don't be like, but I remember what I was doing when my dad died of an asthma attack, and I was about 10 years old, and I was playing on my Amstrad CPC464 to a game that has the best music on the Amstrad CPC464, which I think is Agent X2. Yeah. I think the music on that game is absolutely fabulous, and that's what I was playing when my mum kind of was at the top of the stairs crying. I don't know how to tell him. My mum and dad were separated at that time. I told you, don't get morbid. It's not that fucking sad of a story. Well, it is.
It's a sad story.
I've moved on. But you do, don't you? I was 10 years old. I'm 37 now, so I think I've had enough time. But yeah, I was playing on it then. So that's another. Oh my God, he's got it. That's unbelievable. Agent X2. The music in that game is just phenomenal.
The first level, isn't it? The first level.
First level. Yeah, listen to the first level. It's just unreal. But yeah. So that's another reason why probably Amstrad holds a dear place in my heart. It's one of those things I'll never forget.
That's good. That raises another good question, actually. Favourite music.
Music, yeah.
On the games as well. Personally, mine was the theme from Beyond the Ice Palace. I think that's an amazing intro. The intro with the scroll rolling up, and the music that plays through it is just brilliant. I remember watching that and listening to it and thinking, this is awesome music. Really.
Yeah, I know the game. I've never played it though. But as soon as you mention it, then I do know the game. Yeah.
Really
Anybody
good
else
music.
with that?
Yeah, music. Everyone, what's your favourite music of game?
I don't know about music, but I know one of the nicest games to play with nice sounds was Get Dexter. Have you ever played Get Dexter?
No.
I enjoyed that. That was colourful.
Get Dexter.
That's probably one of the best games on the system.
Get Dexter.
Definitely.
Dexter.
Yeah.
So it's one of the best games on the system.
It had a little foot thing that chased you. Well, it followed you when you went out the door. It went whip beep, whatever. It made a funny noise and.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favourite games. You know, if I had to do a top 5, Get Dexter would definitely be in there. It's absolutely a phenomenal game. Really, really good.
Isometric, wasn't it? An isometric game.
Yeah, but it's a really pretty game. It was nice.
Stu, sorry to break off here, but can I put a request in for a bit later on? Can we play, or can you play, the Popeye wrestling game thingy that you were talking about a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll stick that on. I was going to put on Gauntlet next, but I can put that on.
Oh, classic
We're
Gauntlet.
just learning about Verona currently. Sorry to butt in there, but I've got to say, where's the love for Bridget's music?
Oh no, please don't start that.
Colonel Bogey mixed with We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Fantastic.
Who came? I mean, what were they thinking? Seriously.
Chris, can you get some music on? I'm sure it's not copywritten now.
No, it's not
No.
copywritten.
Why don't you
What?
give me text music?
I'll see what I can do. Bear with me.
Did you see at the start of this game, it came up and said, if you want music, you need 128k of RAM.
Some of them did that, yeah.
Did that happen on
64 doesn't get
Paperboy?
music.
Did that happen with Paperboy? Or were there no versions with the sound?
No.
Ah.
there's no version.
I think it was all quiet, wasn't it? I remember Shinobi was. Shinobi would only play the music if you had the 1238 memory.
So what's better, this or Outrun?
Yeah, this looks 100 times better than Outrun, Stu.
I'm not so sure. It's a lot smaller, condensed graphics, so it's a faster frame rate, but I don't know.
Do you keep running through those signs but surviving?
What signs?
Split screen's good.
That's just
Oh,
after.
that-
Player. Yeah, it's 2 player at the same time.
Yeah, I remember. Does that have the like intro music? You know, I always forget it. It's like, oh yeah, oh yeah. You know what I'm talking about, don't you, Amiga, don't you?
This one doesn't have music because I don't have enough RAM.
Give him an option because he hasn't got enough RAM, so he can't play the music.
Plug it into a Windows 8 system.
It looks really good though. Do you know what's funny? Looking back at some of these games, and I don't remember this in all honesty. These look like Spectrum games with the colours, and I remember,
There's no colour bleed.
Well, no, but I mean, you're playing this for like four colours there, and then the other game that you was playing, what did you have on just before?
It was F1 Simulator.
Oh no, it was F1. Oh no, F1. Yeah, I don't remember Amstrad being like. I remember it being vibrant, colourful. That was the one
like
thing.
this. Definitely some were like this. Really, it was quite disappointing when they come on. They were like that. But for a 1990s game, it's poor, really, isn't it? Compared to what was available.
£1.99 game, it's pretty good.
£1.99.
That's all it costs, $1.99.
Yeah, but what would you have to pay for the sound?
Alright, see if you can hear this. This is Beyond the Ice Palace.
It sounds just like the Amiga version.
It's amazing.
It's got to be a good thing. I'll tell you what, it sounds just like does Feud have music like that? I'm sure it does. It's reminding me of Feud.
It's similar to Feud, yeah. That's similar to Feud. Feud has good music. It's this riff when it starts going. It has this riff that's really memorable. And the Amiga version is very similar.
Yeah.
Okay, he's giving it some, isn't he? Yeah.
Headbanging to Amstrad CPC music.
Look at Cole.
I can quite happily listen to this. Those
Yeah, I could.
get this on the radio.
Fantastic, fantastic.
It is good. It is good.
We've got some more comments. Costado has left one regarding the F1 simulator game and its digitized speech. He says, "Amazing! These cars sound just like 2014's F1 cars."
I knew he'd have some smart comment, the bastard.
And
He's a good
Colo
fella.
CPC says, "Epic music in Feud, Glider Rider, and Platoon."
Oh,
Yeah.
Platoon, that was that. I remember this game, and I played Platoon I played it a lot, but it was bullshit. It was one of those that it reminds me of. Do you know what's funny? I'm saying that's bullshit, but one of my favourite games on Super Nintendo was, and there's relevance to this, was Gorman Mystical Ninja. And you kind of like go up and down with the screens, don't you, to get to a new level. You kind of side scrolling, then you'll see a gap in the bush, and I'm not talking about a lady, and then you sort of like go up, or you go down, don't you? You do, and there's like traps set on the floor. I played it for ages, and it was bullshit. But for some reason, it kept me interested. I can't quite put my finger on that game. The music, although I don't remember like it being memorable. Maybe it was good, I don't know, but I don't remember that. But I remember the bloody game, yeah.
There was I think there was a lot of bad games that we played all the time. It was like, and you didn't realise how bad they were. Bridget was one of them.
I don't mind. But you know what? I'm quite renowned for liking shit games. So that's kind of. Maybe that's just me. Do you know what's funny? We've not mentioned tonight, and this isn't Amstrad specific, but it was just a great series of games, and with even the spin-offs was Dizzy. Dizzy was the. Yeah, I love Dizzy. I love the adventure games, and then you got the shit like Dizzy down the rapids, and then like Quick Snacks, all that kind of bullshit that came out. But they were still fun games because they were Dizzy. But I always used to love Dizzy. I associated Dizzy with Amstrad, not anything else. For whatever reason, I just thought it was Amstrad. But yeah, absolutely love Dizzy.
No, and another thing, going back to music, Dizzy, the music for Dizzy was just superb as well.
Yeah, you're right.
It is a good rendition of one. I always like this. Now, a lot of people didn't like the game on the Amstrad the way that because of the flick screen, but the music for this game, for me, is always epic. It's especially good on the Super Nintendo, but I always like this version of it. And I'm not going to tell you the game, so let's see if you can work it out.
Oh, guess the game. Ghosts and Goblins.
Ghosts and Goblins.
We can see it on your little screen.
I can't see it, but I knew it anyway.
Oh no! Is it the army one?
I think that's fantastic music. That is.
Yeah, it is.
Love it.
What is it?
It's Ghosts and Goblins.
Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah.
I thought what you call it? Green Berry.
Or Russian Attack, whichever way you want to call it.
Yes, I don't remind me about that question, Git.
Engelbert III says he started out his gaming life on an Amstrad, but unfortunately didn't have any games for it, and the screen was black and green. Still, good memories of that machine, typing into it and being excited.
Nice.
Brilliant.
I've got a request from Steve. He wants me to play this.
Oh, this is it.
Agent X2.
It's brilliant. Listen to this. It's just amazing.
Well, I found my new ringtone.
That's awesome, isn't it? I love the way we're all sitting there transfixed. Okay, wow. Oh, look at that. That's cool.
Brilliant.
That really, yeah.
That's just a sound you don't hear at all, other than on an Amstrad. Well,
Yeah. It's just one of them unique sounds that an Amstrad sounds like. It's fantastic. Goosebumps. Ooh,
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's giving me goosebumps.
That is goosebumps. That is just
That is
awesome.
You cannot search it on YouTube, and somebody's put it up. I'm sure, because they've got to have done, because that music on that game, even though the game isn't iconic, even though the game isn't brilliant, but that music makes it just that first level that Stephen's just said there, it's just phenomenal. It really is. It's just amazing, and it blows you away that it's been done on an Amstrad, because it feels ahead of its time.
Yeah.
It really is brilliant. That really, really good.
I also quite like the music to Prohibition. It's not fantastic,
Never
but
heard it, but
Never
here's one.
heard that, no.
I've got this one for Carl because he mentioned it, and it's just awesome.
Oh yes. Is this Treasure Island?
No, this is the first game.
This is the first one.
This is the game music. It's awesome.
It is.
I remember humming that for fucking months.
See, I bet you didn't anticipate music into the show.
No, I did. I so did, because the Amstrad was for such a restricted chip, it could produce so much good music. I mean, you look at the theme music. I know it's advanced for it for the 464, but the theme music for Burning Rubber, I think, is amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I mean, we've not talked about the GX4000, have we?
Well, we touched on it.
We've touched on it, and I can debate whether, I had one, but was it a console? Not really. It was a 464.
It was a 464 plus without
a cassette. Yeah. So I think its failures was already set because it wasn't anything different from what there was already out there, kind of thing. If that makes sense, I don't know.
Well, I think I've discussed on my video about the GX4000 the reason why it failed, and a lot of the misconception is it wasn't the fact that it was a bad machine itself. It was because it was released into a saturated market at the wrong time, and it wasn't powerful enough, and the developers just didn't jump on board with that. You look at games like Pang, and that is a prime example of what the machine could do and how advanced it could be. Because if you look at the same game, on the C64 GS, which in essence is just a C64 without a keyboard, it's nowhere near the same quality of game.
You know what? You make a good point there, because the GX4000 version of Pang was absolutely brilliant compared to anything else on an Amstrad.
I think it's the best version. I think it's the best version.
I agree.
I played the Super Nintendo version. I played the Amiga version. I played the arcade, and the arcade is great. But I think the GX4000 version is just something about it. It's just really, really good and really addictive.
Yeah. No, I can't disagree with you on that one. Definitely, because I had it on the GX4000. Wish I had it today, because I'd sell the fucker for a bit of cash.
Yeah, you only get 50 quid for it, or £5 if you sell it to Giles.
Well, 50 quid is pretty decent, so... who's got the picture of the GX4000 up there?
It's Harry there.
That's me, and that particular Amstrad GX4000 is owned by Steve Benway.
That's Steve's. Yes, the one that stars in many of his talkie videos. He's a derivative of the 464. Is it? So it's part of its legacy. Oh, there you go. There, I've got to go there to Steve. Yes, I'm not going to get my box version down because it's mint. I have two.
Oh, Steve, you just got everything, haven't you?
Do you know what's funny? I used to when I had this 464, I used to actually use the and the Amiga. I used the GX4000 pad. That's what I used.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah,
it was my
because
pad
it's the standard 9-pin DIN.
It was. Yeah.
So. Yeah, well, that was another thing I was going to talk about, actually. What kind of legacy does the CPC464 give to us? And, what followed after it, what you can say is similar to it? what it did inspire. Obviously, it inspired the 464 Plus and of course the GX4000, which are legendary in their own right. But where do we go after the very unique block multicolored keyboard with the built-in tape deck, which we'd not seen before, because all the tape decks were separate, like the 664 Spectrum. It was something different, wasn't it? So what do you think? What kind of legacy do you think it leaves?
Well, I think it only leaves, for me personally, I think nobody today into gaming or getting into retro gaming, I don't think they'd look at the Amstrad. I think because Spectrum is a name, I think Commodore is a name, and Amstrad isn't. Although for me, it's the best. And I think back then, even then, it was like kind of like I said at the top of the show there, like the comparisons to you've got a Wii U,
it's second best.
Yeah, it's always second best. I think Amstrad was always second best, so it's kind of like got that niche following. Kind of like the Nintendo brand right now in gaming. Not to bring Nintendo up, but it's just the comparison. But I think it's just niche. I think you was either brought up with it, like I was, like you was, like all of us here. We were kind of brought up with it. But if you were trying to get into it today in the retro market, retro gaming, because that's absolutely huge, I don't think you'll get too many people looking at the Amstrad. It's definitely going to be Commodore 64 and Spectrum, and that's a sad thing. That why that is, I have no idea, but that's just my opinion. It's not a right one.
I can see what you're saying, but I kind of disagree a little bit because of its uniqueness. I mean, there's so many 64, 48K Spectrums knocking around the place, and we all know the infamy of the Spectrum. I think the Amstrad holds that. I mean, what would you class it like? I mean, let's put it into modern terms. How would we class it as, say, like a modern console? Of its, Giles said they put it well, second best. So, could we class it like, say, the Saturn was to the PlayStation?
I don't think so. I think second best. If you're looking for terms of other consoles and
like a comparison.
Well, the Wii was everybody's second console, towards the Xbox 360 and the PS3 and the Wii U right now. I mean, this isn't about that, but as we're saying, comparisons.
I wonder what your cat was doing there. He just jumped out of his skin at the back.
He's the clumsiest cat. He actually need 9 lives.
He just clicked his paws.
Yeah, no, it's the Amstrad. Like I said, the Amstrad is just one of those things. It's unfortunately, I feel privileged to have grown up on one, playing one, because I've experienced the greatness that it's got, that it can give. But maybe I can't see that in the GX4000 because I had a couple of games. I remember I had Navy Seals was the other one.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, I remember the other one.
I think the GX4000 is a completely different kettle of fish. It's a complete unique one-off flop.
It's a one-off flop, but it's not any different to what was already available on.
No, we've already covered that. But like I'm saying, going back to the 464, the 464's got much more impetus about it and more memorable strength about it because of the way it looked for starters. The fact that it gave you this compact package of things and at a low price point considering what you got as well. And I think even Spectrum fans would agree that the graphics on it were far superior when it comes to colour, especially. Maybe not scrolling, of course, but when it comes to colour and everything else that you could chuck at graphics, even Commodore 64 fans think, because the Commodore 64, in my mind, I've always praised its sound. But I've always thought its graphics have a strange pastel colour palette that I never really got on with. It really did. And we go back to comparisons to systems. Is the CPC the ST to the Amiga like Commodore, like the 64 was?
Yeah, I'd say it was.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because then I'd be happy with that because the ST has got a very strong following.
I think the Amstrad's got a strong it has got a strong following. It was just played second fiddle to and it wasn't as you say, the graphics on some of the games on the 64 were a bit pants, and the Amstrad could do a better looking game.
I think it's down basically to the programs.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Chase HQ on the Commodore 64. It was garbage.
Yeah.
It's one of the best, probably one of the best, if not the best game on the CPC. One of them.
Oh, well, you're going to talk about that soon.
Well,
right?
not yet, because I'm still talking about this. Carl's got me thinking there. But he set me off on a tangent. Cheers, Carl. Because I completely lost my train of thought there. I was going to say, do you think the Amstrad was always playing catch up with the Spectrum because it was released 2 years after? Was it always playing catch up? And do you think that if it was released, say, at the same time as the Spectrum and the CPC4, which were both released in '82, it could have had possibly a more equal share and maybe even been more popular than one of the two machines? Because it would have been around longer, the developers would have had more experience with it.
I don't know if they targeted it right though. Well, the Amstrad, well, certainly the one I had was. I think they did target it as a learning, like a businessy sort of PC.
Yeah, both. They wanted
it wasn't like I had a VIC 20 before all this. I had a VIC 20. I come from like the bloody grandstands and all that sort of shit.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
The little VIC 20 and stuff. It was just like a little. It was like a little games machine, wasn't it? There were games machines. I don't think the Amstrad was. It was a bit more business-like, I think.
I think they marketed deliberately like that, didn't they?
Yeah, it was a deliberate marketing decision, as you just say.
But I say that might not have given it the advantage it needed. You should really market it to kids, isn't it? If you want it a game, for gaming, market it to the people who play them.
Well, just on a different aspect on that, I understand that, but when I got mine bought for me, I mean, I wasn't in the market to buy one myself, but I got one bought for me, so it was like always a games machine, never a business one.
Yeah.
Business to me at 8 years old, I don't even know.
But when they were sold it in PC World or wherever it was then, they would have said, this is an educational machine.
Yeah.
Not like this games machine. You can learn stuff on this machine. So that's why you got that machine.
Yeah, probably.
But other than other people, intelligent people, not like us sitting at home scratching ourselves and covering ourselves in Bentivate,
so
they were looking at the magazines going, oh, I'll have one of them games machines.
Yeah, it clearly didn't work, did it? The educational side of it, with, I fill fucking shells for a living and drink beer. So yeah, it didn't fucking work. Amstrad, you failed.
I've got a question though. How many did it sell in comparison to the BBC Micro, which was, to most intents and purposes, a learning computer?
Yeah, that was sold to schools though, mate. They had a...
Yeah, I played on a BBC Micro every dinner time or lunchtime, considering where you're going from, and I don't want to get into that. But I used to play on Mr. Do. Mr. Do. Do you remember Mr. Do?
God, no.
Pop. Yeah. No, Mr. Do. He was like Dig Dug, but kind of like with a jester clown thing, just throwing a fucking
cherries.
Yeah.
I remember playing Elite on it. I remember playing Elite on it.
Yeah, Elite was probably the best version on the BBC Micro, yeah.
Elite was on the BBC Micro.
Yeah.
No
You should watch Steve Benway. He goes on about that. It's one of his favourite ever games, Elite on the BBC Micro. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It was on the 64 that you liked it.
Yes, Elite on the Micro was actually first released on the Micro. It was way ahead of its time. There's a whole documentary about it on YouTube if you look it up.
I did not know that, but I would like to say, Stu, this Popeye game 3 that you're loading could be the longest loading fucking game in history.
Takes a long time, hasn't it?
In the meantime, I've got another bit of music for you, and this is a game that I think Carl has already mentioned again, but I thought this has always had a bit of good, decent music as well. I'm not going to show you the screen.
Well, I can't think what this is.
You've already mentioned it, Codemasters game.
I probably have. It's not a fucking ski simulator, is it?
Ski simulator.
Is it Dizzy?
BMX simulator.
Oh, Simulator. What the gameplay to that, was that not similar to Super Sprint?
Yeah, top down. Yeah.
Yes, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Another one was I always liked was it had very good graphics for its day. Another sort of isometric top-down kind of thing was Irvin Iron Man Stewart's Super Off-Road.
Yeah, that's a great game. That's a
really good game.
It's a great game. Yeah. Really.
Popeye's loading. Oh, reposition tape to start of data. Oh, I'm going to load the next opponent.
I've got to rewind it and start again.
So you think it has its place then, Carl, but it doesn't really leave a legacy, you say?
No, I think it's one of those kind of, if I'm honest, and I'm privileged, to be a part of. I think it's a fanboy. I think it's a fanboy thing. I think it's a niche thing. Like I said, nobody, unless you grew up with it, nobody today is going to, or very few people, not nobody, that's a wrong thing to say, but very few people would go for Amstrad over Spectrum or Commodore if they was interested into that particular era of gaming, in my opinion.
Is that all down to familiarity?
Absolutely, yeah.
What do you think?
I think the people wanted the Amstrad. The people who are going to want them, or think. A lot of people had Spectrums. All the Spectrum fellas looked up at the Amstrad fellas, and all the Amstrad fellas looked up at the Commodore 64 fellas.
Yeah.
And that's the.
I think they're good. I think you're right. I think they're good. And also more open-minded people now as we're getting older, because we all used to be fanboys back in the day.
Yeah.
When we're open-minded now, they want to experience things that they've missed. And I used to slate the Spectrum, because I was an Amstrad fanboy. Still am. But I will gladly experience the Spectrum now because I understand.
A lot of that now. Like there's like this GX4000. I didn't have one, but.
Well, I've got a funny feeling the reason why you and Dave Infected Flint have got an now GX4000 is something to do with me.
It is, because I didn't even know about them, Chris. I didn't even know about them.
So I'm glad I'm spreading the love.
Yeah.
I've had an idea about this, the GX4000 and the CPC. Would you say that possibly it could be a comparison between the PC and the Steam machine?
That's an interesting thought.
Okay, can I just? What is the Steam machine?
The Steam machine is a. Well, if I think I'm correct, it is a standalone console to run PC-based Steam games.
Yeah.
I've never been
Is that right, Stu? Sorry, Stu?
It's a PC without a keyboard. If you've ever used Steam, in the top right-hand corner, you've got this button that says the big view or something, and it basically full screens it. And that's what the Steam machine is. It's a full screen version that you plug into your TV.
Right.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I've never really played PC games. I've never been a PC gamer. I've never really touched that kind of thing, or Steam for that matter.
Well, the thing about it is, the only games you'll be able to play are the ones that you can do with joypads.
Yeah. So that's where the comparison comes in.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Right. Right, no, I can't.
I think given the popularity in the modern era of PC gaming and the fact that Steam is such a massive site, I think there is a similarity there. It entirely depends on how they market the Steam machine and what comes out in it. Because if it's compatible with every single Steam game, which I'm assuming it is,
can't be.
Well, I don't know.
The ones that require mouse and keyboard.
You can't use mouse and keyboard with the Steam machine?
I don't know.
Well, you can't use keyboard, but
it depends.
It'll be Bluetooth. Use a Pokemon.
Yeah, it'll be a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse.
I mean, who's going to want to sit on their sofa with a mouse and keyboard?
So, in other words, you're saying you may as well have a PC.
Which is the same thing that happened with the GX4000. If you take away the mouse and keyboard, you're limiting the games you can play.
Yeah, but the games were at least this is a step away from the C64 because the games didn't require keyboard input because they did with the GS. Then you were rendered with games you couldn't play. I think releasing the 464 Plus alongside the GX4000 was probably odd because they're in essence the same thing, but one's got a keyboard.
It looked nice though.
Oh, I think the GX4000 is one of the best looking consoles ever. It's fantastic looking.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah.
But then again, lots of consoles look really good. And look, like I've already said, the GX 4000 just didn't. It was a circumstance it was in. Like Stu's pointed out, it was in a saturated market. Game no one developed for it because it was. I mean, if it was a 16-bit machine, I reckon it would have done a hell of a lot better. And of course, everyone's forgetting what machine was released 3 months after it. There you go. Mega Drive.
Yeah, it was
Mega Drive. The Mega Drive. So case closed. And you had people marketing in the magazines at the time when it came out saying, "Oh, it's graphically, which it is, graphically superior to the Master System and the NES," which is both true. But if no one we've seen in modern consoles, in fact, consoles all the way through the era and systems. Of course, we're getting away from the CPC here, but just quickly, programmers, if they're lazy, they'll produce shit games, no matter what format they're on. It's all to do with the programmers. So,
if they're lazy or under time constraints, I'd like to qualify that.
I was going to say to Steve, do you agree with Carl's synopsis on the legacy of the CPC464?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Fair enough.
that was insightful. And that is why I've joined tonight, because I was waiting for that. That's so insightful.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
So you can go to bed happy now.
Well, what do you think? You've never fucking answered the
I did.
Well, not really. No. You kind of skipped over it and kind of disagreed, agreed.
I think it has its place. I think it would be.
See, here's my point. You can't see. There you go.
Look, because I've grown up with it, I can see what you're saying. But for me, it was always part of the three. It was always the big three, and they were the big three. And the Amstrad was a fundamental part of the big three. And I think that's what its legacy is. It's like it was the underdog of the big three.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. No, fair play.
So.
I think they all went arm in arm, though.
Sorry, Steve.
I think they all went arm in arm. You know, they brought out the great games and some rubbish games. You know, I think it was just there wasn't much between them. It was just dependent on the programmers.
It was, and of course, by biased opinion as well by the fans.
Yeah, definitely.
They would.
Yak?
Yes.
The picture that you got on the screen.
Yes.
Is that a Amiga zip stick she's playing with?
Well, I can't tell because the boy's head is.
It looks like
it's got the yellow buttons. Yeah.
It has got the yellow buttons. Yeah, it's the. Oh, this guy's a big Amstrad guy.
Oh.
I've seen him, and I've seen he's. I'm on camera doing a chat.
Welcome, John.
Oh, mate, how you doing?
You're alright. How you doing?
Yeah, terrific.
Nice.
Just come back from the pub.
Oh, well, there we go.
Look at this.
He's fueled up and got his CPC knowledge out.
Well, I haven't, actually. I'll go get some beers, actually. I'll be right back.
Just what
that was sweet.
What would be great right now?
Is that John Cage?
Yeah, John Gage, yeah.
Yeah, just leave. He'll come back to fuck
Turn it all
off.
off.
Turn it all off. Yeah, just no, he's yeah, I've watched his stuff a lot actually, and he's a big Amstrad guy, really big.
Hey, no, he did
It's all Amiga stuff. I thought it was all Amiga stuff here.
No, he does some funny.
He does cross-platform stuff.
He does.
He did a very good video earlier on the CPC where he sat down in front of the camera and played Harry Attack, which I thought was fantastic. Didn't you, John?
Yeah. So it ain't out now. I had to put it away, so I needed the space.
I know it's big. It's a big unit, isn't it?
Can I just ask you, Paul? It's a great computer. I have to admit, it is an absolute great computer. I don't give a shit what any Commodore 64 users say. It's up there with the Commodore 64.
It's not as good as the Commodore 64, though, is it?
Yes, it
No.
is.
Of course.
Wait.
I'll hold him back. I'll hold him back.
Piss off! You start saying shit like that. You can get out of my bloody chat.
It doesn't hold the candle to the Commodore 64, though, really, though, does it?
Yeah.
No, it was better.
No, what he's got, he's trying to be a cunt and he's being successful.
Yeah.
But what I want to know is why those headphones don't actually go on your fucking head.
I don't know. That's the way I always listen to my videos. I don't know.
What's that all about? What's that all about? You've got two there. Put them on your head.
Nah. I like to wear everything around me.
John,
When I listen to music, I'll put these on.
John, we've heard everyone's experiences on the 464. Can you tell us how you got involved in it?
Well, it happened back in 1985 when my parents bought me the 464. And I was amazed when I got it. I saw it. Couldn't wait to get it on the desk. It actually came with a desk.
Yeah. Oh, there's a special bonus premium pack or something.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it did. But it was brilliant. It was. I don't know. It was great. That's when my gaming started. It was a brilliant computer. Even though I'm always going to slate US Gold for making rubbish games. Like
well, you've missed Outrun. We had Stuart playing Outrun earlier.
Oh no! That was horrible. I wasted $9.99 on that game because I originally played it on the Commodore 64. Well, I didn't. I played it on the arcade, but you know, I played it on the Commodore 64 before I played it on the Amstrad, and you know, I was hoping it would be as good, but it turned out to be a bloody disaster, and I was really pissed off.
We were talking about that earlier about arcane conversions, which you were disappointed in, and mine was personally R-Type.
I'll tell you what, I have to say, Activision did a great version of Afterburner for the Amstrad CPC. It was even better than the Commodore 64.
Yeah, it was a good version. Yeah, it was.
I liked it.
Yeah, okay.
What was your favourite music? Can you pick a game as a best music? We've had a few so far. I think Dizzy. Carl loves the Dizzy stuff.
Dizzy was good.
Dizzy music is fantastic.
The best for me.
You know,
Agent, yeah.
Have you seen my? I don't know if you've seen my my Amstrad CPC4 30 anniversary thing.
Yeah, I watched it before it came on. Yeah.
I actually used the Agent X2. I thought that was a great piece of music for the Amstrad.
It was.
CPC.
It is. Yeah, we've just been talking about Agent X2, and we had it played, so we're all in agreement that it's fantastic. And Giles has now got it on his ringtone.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got a few on my phone, but more of the
Ghouls and Ghosts. I just played that. I like that one. Oh, there was another one actually I was going to play. Forgot what it was now. Oh shit.
I'm surprised Matty ain't here. Where's Matt?
Yeah, but you know he's a big Amstrad guy as well. He's a big fan of yours as well. You know he would have been ideal, you know, in here as well because he's done a lot of gameplays for the Amstrad as well.
He loves his Bridget.
I like Bridget. You know, I'm one of the very, very few that enjoy that game. So
I hate that bastard game.
Yeah, everyone hates it, but I do like shit games, modern, old, whatever they are. So it's kind of like, you know, my thing.
Oh, Mummy's great though.
Yeah, that's not shit.
Yeah, oh, Mummy.
That's amazing. Do you know what's funny about that game? I mean, that game must have been huge and had a huge following because they made the you know the Mega Drive version that they released recently, the kind of update, which is absolutely fantastic, which probably will cost you about £40-50 off eBay. It's really, really good on the Mega Drive. It's got a lot of different things in it, but yeah, all Mummy been recreated, so to speak. Yeah, really, really good game.
One game we have not mentioned, of course, is the Homebrew classic Mountain Miner.
Yes.
Wow.
Do you know what's funny about that game? It's like music. You're either bloody Depeche Mode or fucking whoever it is, Duran Duran. I don't fucking know who it is. But you know, it's one of those things where you Oasis or Blur, all this bit. And you're either Manic Man or Jet Set Willy. I was Jet Set Willy. Jet Set Willy was my thing. Manic Miner, although it's the same, I know, but I couldn't get into it as well as Jet Set Willy.
Jet Set Willy, you can go on every level, can't you? You just can carry on. I did like Jet Set Willy, well, the second one. Because I originally played...
No, you're right, yeah.
The original Jet Set Willy I originally played on the ZX Spectrum, and when I went out and bought it, I think the only version available for the Amstrad CPC was the second one.
Yeah, it was. That's the one I'm talking about, yeah. You're absolutely right, yeah.
Do you know what? It's so good to actually talk to everyone here. You know...
About time, yeah.
It's about time. It's absolutely great. Actually, I'll always see a video, but to talk live, you know, it's brilliant.
What we got playing there, Stu? What's that?
It's Popeye 3.
Still. How long has he had that one going for? I thought he'd given up. I thought he'd given up and tried something else.
This is probably one of the worst. If anyone's actually thinking about an Amstrad CPC,
yeah, don't watch.
Right now, please don't. Right, you're not going to wait 2 hours to load a fucking game.
Yeah, you could have loaded. Hang on.
Oh, wait a minute. This is going to be worth waiting for. Stop tape.
He's going to go.
I think when this comes on, he deserves a little bit of time to show the gameplay of this. There's absolutely no doubt.
Well, I've just looked at the cover, and there's a Xenomorph from Alien, and the robot from Lost in Space.
What spinach are you on?
These are the opponents against Popeye.
That's a different kind of green.
I've never played that.
Yeah.
And in the blue corner, ready to challenge your determination and stealth from the volcanic planet of Giz. Please welcome. It's a Xenomorph.
Oh, mate, isn't it? Thomas. John, this is the next game you've got to do as a gameplay.
What, Popeye?
Popeye.
On emulator. Do it on emulator.
It's the fucking alien from Aliens.
Oh, look how colourful
He
it
looks
is.
excited, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Hang on, it's
Oh, hello. He's getting noshed off.
I don't know what you've got to do, but he's biting my head.
Oh, bloody hell.
That's it, game over.
His noshing tied him out.
Look at the colour. In all fairness, look at the colours on this game. You
I think I've broken the controller.
I tell you what, also, yeah, seriously, look at also the background still animation.
Yeah,
It's really clever as well.
Is it
Yeah,
working?
yeah, it's working.
I love the way it says waggle the joystick in the top corners. With it. Look at that! Look.
I don't know if I'm actually doing anything. Do I have to? Is it up and down?
Well, if you make a mess, you're waggling the wrong thing.
Popeye's the count. It's back
That's
up again.
the JY2 or a Cheetah 125 Plus.
Don't use a quick flip to whatever you do.
Look, he's knocking him off. Look. God, these aliens are absolutely
This is
atrocious.
hard
I don't have
work.
any farts on him.
Yay! I get to load it again.
Oh,
Really? Do you have to load the whole thing again now?
that's what it was all about, chaps. That's the core of. Right now, I'm going to make it even better and put Pit Fighter on. No, I'm fucking.
No! That's worse than Bridget. No.
Let's talk about decent games. Okay.
Have you heard him?
Carl's waiting. Carl's waiting for this, so
Yes,
let's cut to the chase.
I am.
And we'll start with Carl because I want to give everyone there half an hour probably. Carl, your favourite Amstrad CPC464 game?
I'll give up on this one.
My favourite. I'm not going to talk about it too much either because if you've played it, it's kind of like it's a strange. Well, no, it's not a strange game, but it's like my favourite Amstrad. I'll spit it out. It's Rick Dangerous 2.
Right.
That's my favourite Amstrad CPC game, Rick Dangerous 2. If you've never played it, it's kind of like a platformer, up and down ladders, blah blah blah. It's hard to explain, really. It's kind of got to be experienced. But it's absolutely fantastic. That is my favourite game on Amstrad CPC, like Indiana Jones. He was Rick Dangerous was like kind of the Indiana Jones kind of character, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's a very good looking game, I must admit.
Yeah, it is beautiful to look at. It's I loved it, absolutely loved it. But it's one of those games that until you experience it, to talk about it seems kind of like linear and boring. But it's one of those to be experienced, I think.
I bet
Oh, maybe Stu has it. It'll take 10 years to load.
No, I don't have that one.
Rick Dangerous 2, okay.
Yeah, I was going for Exanagrams. We're going to have an Exanagrams face-off. This will be interesting.
How is that game pronounced? Is it Exanagrams? Is it Xanagrams?
No, it's pronounced bollocks.
It's like Xenoblade, isn't it? So, who's next on your favourites? I'd love to know.
Any more notable games first for you? Like you said, mentioned Dizzy. Are they all along them? Turrican was a really good.
Turrican. Yeah, Prince of Persia was a good.
I was going to say Prince of Persia, but we'll get onto that in a minute.
Yeah, it was a good conversion on Amstrad. Iron Lord.
Yeah.
Iron Lord was a good game.
What about Balderdash?
Balderdash. You know, Balderdash. I don't quite like the game.
The concept of the game.
Yes, I'm not too much of a fan of Balderdash as it is. So I don't know. I don't know. Do you know what I used to like? Cauldron. Was it Cauldron or
Super Cauldron? Fantastic game.
Cauldron, Super Cauldron. Yeah, you know what, a witch. It was a witch, and then I used to love that. But yeah, notable games. But my favourite, Rick Dangerous 2.
Excellent. Giles, what do you think?
I don't know. I've always sort of like gone for adventure-y sort of games.
Like the text adventures.
No, like the open world adventures like Get Dexter and stuff like that. But you can have a mince about and
Head Over Heels, that one?
Yeah, what was it? Night Law and all that. Was it Night Law? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, that's right.
I like them. What else? Feud. I like all the ones. Was never a big shoot 'em up thing I don't know. There's a few. The main one I reckon I played a lot of was Get Dexter, but I think I played a lot of that because it was on disc.
Yeah.
I could just whack it in and then it was on. But it was a cracking game. I enjoyed it. It was nice and colourful, and you could busy about the place.
It definitely was. I remember I had a strong advertisement campaign. I remember it being in the magazines a lot. Get Dexter.
Oh, it came with the computer. I think I don't remember. It wasn't one I picked, or I never really got magazines and all that sort of stuff to buy my games. It was just whatever I came across. It was whatever was in the petrol station that's still up the road, and it was whatever my dad.
I bet they don't sell tape games anymore.
No, and that's when I got rid of the Amstrad. I think when they stopped actually. I think the Amstrad used to like have 4 shelves of games, and you go in there and pick them. Then it went down to 3, then to 1, and then like 5. Then it had to go.
Yeah, my local news agent had exactly the same. All the budget games. All stacked up there. When I got my Ninja Scooter Simulator. I love that game. It's the most ridiculous fucking title ever. And the ninja looks like he doesn't look like a ninja. But it's just, it's a funny game. And great music.
Lovely.
Steve, your favourite CPC game?
I think I've picked 3 because they're all arcade conversions.
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
The first one is Chase HQ, obviously.
Fantastic.
I think it made you proud that you're an Amstrad owner.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. All around.
So faithful to the arcade was amazing.
The second one, it was one of my first ones. It was ER Kung Fu.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, indeed, yeah.
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 And
John, you did a good piece on that Yaya Kung Fu, didn't you? Yeah,
I have to say, I played, the original was the Commodore 64 version.
Yeah.
Never played it on the Amstrad, but I just felt the Commodore 64 version just ran a lot quicker. moved nicer.
I think it was a different style. But like, yeah. But going back to Steve, yeah, it was.
And I think the last one was probably the greatest arcade conversion for the Amstrad.
Go on, then. Oh. Double Dragon 2. Wow.
Really?
That's an interesting choice.
It's interesting indeed.
I remember being disappointed with Double Dragon.
It was brilliant.
I'm trying to dig my memories up at Double Dragon 2 because I think Double Dragon 2 was one of the few games that I bought at brand new with my pocket money from Adam's World, because we always used to get games from Adam's World in Harrow, and I remember getting Double Dragon 2 because I thought the first version was so shit.
Yeah, it was terrible.
But it wasn't. But then I realised that afterwards, years after playing Double Dragon 2, which I really enjoyed, that they'd done 2 versions of Double Dragon 1. I didn't know that at the time, and I remember playing. Oh, that's what I was saying earlier. That combination. I said the Biz. That was the 4th game. It was Double Dragon, but it was the really slow, jerky,
Virgin
version.
Virgin,
yeah.
Yeah.
It was. Just quickly on that one, Double Dragon as a series I love now, far above the one that I'm going to mention right now. But back then, I preferred Renegade and Target Renegade.
Target Renegade, great.
Yeah, because they were like Double Dragon kind of, not clones I would say, but they were similar. But I preferred the Renegade and Target Renegade games.
I loved Renegade and Target Renegade, but I think because, in the arcade, as a kid going on I loved Double Dragon, and it was literally the sequel.
Yeah.
And then it came out to the Amstrad, and it was so close to the arcade. Little bit slower, but it was like the big sprites and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Steve, what year did that come out?
There we go. 89.
Really?
Yeah.
Get some snapshots of it.
Okay, because I remember playing that on the NES and absolutely loving it. That was before I actually got my Amstrad CPC. You can't blame me for that.
I'm just going to go for a quick piss, right? Would everyone mind just not, because I love these favourite games, just have a wank between yourselves? And,
fair enough.
Call each
You
other.
gotta go.
I tell you what, Harry, if you want, we want to pause for the moment and first of all introduce our new guest, and secondly do some comments. Because I've got to do exactly what Carl's got to do, so apologies.
Okay, he's gone for a whiz, which is staple for this live stream. And now we have, entering the call, Amstrad CPC fan, Mr. Dylan Barry. Hello.
Hello. From Guantanamo Bay.
Hi, Dylan.
You're quite low there. You may know him better as Jesus is the Tree of Life off of the YouTubes. Welcome, sir.
Hi there. Am I pretty low, my levels, or something?
Yes.
I'm wearing a mic, but it's not even connected. So...
Is the webcam picking it up? That's the problem I had.
Stuart.
Is that better?
Yes, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stuart.
Right. I'm sorry.
Yeah?
Have you got Double Dragon 2?
No.
Nah.
I've got mostly football games. Right then, which level? 1, 2, or 3?
3.
3.
Really?
We're clever enough.
Come on.
Okay, how many words?
What game's this?
5.
This is
5?
cross anagrams for the Amstrad CPC.
Ah, right. I don't think I've seen this.
And Stu's playing
Press
this.
enter for help. I've never played this before.
This is one of the Amstrad 12-pack, and most people got this with the console.
Ah.
So,
It's
what do we do?
I must have had this thing.
It's like a crossword. You've got to guess which letters go in which place.
Well, was
Is
this
the
like
letters
an
on the right-hand side?
Yes.
Is there any clues?
No, you just got to guess.
Hey.
Go on then.
Hold on. Let's play this game together right now.
Go on and shout it out.
I hope Chris has the camera on you right now. Okay, try F.
F. Does nothing. Goes red.
N.
What are we trying to play now?
Cross anagrams or whatever the heck it's called.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, I can see now.
A.
Okay. No, it's not A.
Who's playing this, me or you?
Okay, D.
Which one? D?
D.
No.
Oh, crap.
You've got to try the ones
How about
that are
S?
most populous on the right.
No, it's not
E.
S.
R.
E?
Yeah.
R.
No. R? No.
I. I.
No, it's not I.
T.
L.
T?
Can I have a P,
No.
please, Bob?
Fucking hell. H.
No.
Who's
Oh my god.
Come on, keep
my
going.
apologies? My apologies. Who's the gentleman to the far left there on my
Oh,
screen?
you just missed me introducing him. That is Mr. Dylan Barry.
Oh, hello, Dylan.
Hi, alright, how you doing?
Jesus is the tree of life. How you doing?
Yeah, from Guantanamo Bay.
Welcome, welcome.
From Guantanamo Bay.
In orange.
Yeah, I didn't bring my sack on my head.
Are you Santa Claus?
Sorry.
L.
That's the new Santa Claus. He's got a sack on his head
Seriously?
and a beard.
P. P.
A black beard.
Hey!
Bloody hell.
Oh, Dylan got that, but you didn't listen to him.
None of us should pick the lottery numbers.
Yeah, so can I have a P, please, Bob?
Now try the vowels.
Can I have a P? I think P's gone, has it not?
We've done P.
There's only one P. Just a 1P.
I've just had a P.
X. N. Z.
What?
O. E.
Q.
N? Not N, is it?
Break off for that for a minute.
No.
This is the
Dylan,
most
we were-
fucking painful game ever.
Dylan, we were just talking about our favourite games on the CPC, but I'm just going to go back for a second to welcome you in. And can you give us your experiences with the CPC464 and how you got to love it?
Well, it's funny, really. I had this friend, and this is like, it was literally the first games I've ever seen in my life, you know, on the CPC. And I went over to his house, and he had Dizzy, I think, Rockstar Ate My Hamster, which is like, I had to go out as soon as I saw that game, you know, and I saw all the characters, you know, like Wacko Jacko and all that. I had to have that game.
Yeah.
What else? American Werewolf in London, which is really, really atmospheric. And the main, the clincher for me was Batman, the isometric game.
Yes.
So what I'd done, like our usual trick, me and my brother, was that we went out and we bought the games before we had the machine. So I went out and I bought Fantasy World Daisy and Batman. You know, like when they were like $3.99 or something.
Was that Batman, the Cape Crusader?
The isometric one. I'm not sure exactly.
The original isometric one, yes.
Yeah, and
the first Batman game.
Yeah, and if we bought the games first, it guaranteed that my parents were going to buy us the machine, you know, because they had to. So,
that was a clever ploy. It worked, clearly.
Yeah, we done it for a load of things. But, yeah, so then we got an Amstrad for Christmas and stuff, and yeah.
I'm going to think about trying to do that now. I'm going to go out and buy a load of GameCube games.
Because they were cassette.
Actually, it's probably the first time I ever like cried as well, because I remember I had like a magnet from my karaoke machine, and the speaker had come out, and one day I was messing around, and I put the magnet on the screen, and I was like, oh, look at this, the colours on the screen and that, and like, and I was playing in RK Plus, in International Karate Plus.
Good game.
Yeah.
And then it dawned on me that the colours weren't going to go back.
Oh,
no! And, like, this cold sweat just came over me, like, you know, that this beloved
the
machine
tube
was
up.
just like, yeah, it was really bad. That was.
Was that the Amstrad green screen as well?
No, it was a colour one. It was.
No.
The CTM 644. Was that one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not
It was
sure.
a tough piece of kit, but yeah,
Just don't put a magnet
electromagnets
on the
not
screen.
great.
Well, you see, I don't want to trip you up there, Harry, but he was talking about the colours, and then he fucked up the colours, and then you mentioned, was that the green screen? It's kind of like...
He's not paying attention.
I just don't either.
I'm gonna let Harry off there because I'm just assuming he's colourblind.
Yanks are colourblind. Did you not know?
I didn't. I apologise. I didn't know that. Well, it's a good job, or else that would have been an embarrassing moment, wouldn't it?
It's a screenshot. It's a screenshot of Double Dragon 2.
Yes.
Oh, the colours.
does look lovely, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I got it on YouTube now. It looks really. With it, it's like very, very similar to the arcade. Quite smooth.
Have you guys actually seen the RoboCop remake that they're making for the Amstrad?
I haven't seen the remake. No.
RoboCop Prime it's called. It looks incredible. It's all completely, you know, it's made on the Amstrad sort of thing. It looks amazing.
Get a
It's
picture.
amazing. It's amazing what they can do now when you see some of these fan-made games.
Yeah, oh, incredible.
They look unbelievable. It just again underlines the point of the graphic power that the CPC had when in the right hands. Because
gold.
Sorry,
Not like US gold.
not like US Gold. No, it had to be in the right hands.
He's got that EA syndrome with.
He doesn't like US Gold.
Yeah.
Thankfully now, John, you'll be glad to know they're out of business now. So
I used to love US Gold games.
some of them.
Oh,
Interesting. For the Commodore 64, but they messed it up for the Amstrad.
I think I had the Platinum Pack. I think that was by US Gold, and we had like Strider and Black Tiger.
Black Tiger. Oh,
what was wrong with Black Tiger and Strider? Nothing. So
Yeah.
US Gold maybe.
I used to love it.
The makers, the publishers out there. So.
I'm going to have to go, I'm afraid, fellas.
Thank you very much, Giles, for coming on, sharing your
Well,
memories.
it's nice to see you all again. All handsome, lovely-looking blokes. And he's right, that RoboCop Prime looks brilliant. So I'll see you soon.
Take care, mate. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, Giles.
And that was
it's
Evo
okay.
Halo,
I mean,
everyone.
they should still be making games for these things. If they can do stuff like that, it's like, you know.
What is that RoboCop? Can somebody show me that picture again, please?
Well, this is the question I posed earlier, Dylan. I'm not sure whether you saw it. Was do you think the Amstrad would have had more memorable games on it, and the machine would have been more success if it was released at the same time as the Spectrum and the C64, because it was 2 years behind them? And I think everyone agrees that it probably would have had a better run if that would have been the case.
I'm not sure. I don't know really. I think it was just kind of. I mean, the whole factor came with like a monitor and everything. You know, it just wasn't sort of like the portable.
Yeah.
You know.
It was the all-in-one idea. But that was the entire.
I mean, it wasn't
idea,
the same cool thing like, oh, I'm going to go on my mum's telly now with my computer. It was just like you were up in your room, which is good enough for everyone. But
I think that was the entire point, wasn't it? So that you wouldn't monopolise the television with it, because that's what Sugar said. I think in statement he said, this is a computer that acts as a standalone computer and not monopolising the television like the other systems could do potentially. So it was one of the selling points for it. Sorry, John.
It had, I think my experience, it had to have a monitor because it couldn't handle the TV couldn't handle the colours. Because I had the modulator, it was rubbish.
yeah,
It was, it was a wavy signal though, wasn't it? It would waver.
Horrible. It was horrible, really horrible.
Now, of course, you can mod it and just stick a SCART on it on AV.
Yeah, there's no problem there, but the aerial was crap.
And this was something I was going to come on to, but we're going to go back onto favourite games. So, Harry, favourite game on the Amstrad CPC464?
Right, I'm going to throw something in from left field here. It's a tie between two games, and I'm going to go with the more popular one first, and that is Rampage, the arcade conversion.
Ooh,
Rampage.
Rampage, yeah.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game. The only problem is, it's really hard to get anywhere. You always get to a certain point and die. You get to about the 4th or 5th level. In the other versions, you can go to like level 100 and odd, because there's a bug in the Amstrad CPC version. You're supposed to be able to eat food and regain health, but for some reason that doesn't happen, so you always just get to a certain point and die.
Yeah, the food that appears in the windows.
Yes.
Right, yeah. And you could eat the humans as well on the floor, couldn't you?
But unfortunately, don't give you health, so you're doomed. Might as well just not collect them, because all they do is give you points, and you're just wasting time being shot by the army.
Yeah, you could get about level 3 and about die because you couldn't get energy. Yeah, I remember it.
There is another way. Yeah, there is another way to get through it. You can play with other people. If you played it with 3 people, one person dies, then it doesn't reset back to the start. It goes to the next level. So that's the way that you advance in the game. But if you're playing one player, like poor old Billy Todd here, unfortunately, that's it. But the other game I'm going to throw in there, we've mentioned it once tonight already. And I selected this as one of my Desert Island games when I appeared on JL76's show way back last year, I think. And that is, it's off the Amstrad 12 pack, and it's Fruit Machine.
Oh, yes. Gotta love Fruit Machine.
Yeah, evidence for that is in the fact that just this afternoon I did a whole hour-and-a-half long stream just of Fruit Machine, trying to beat my own record. In fact, trying to beat your record on that game. And I couldn't do it. I didn't. What was your score again? Was it 1,300 or something like that?
1,100. That particular record was, I think.
How did you do that? Because I only managed to get, in 7 or 8 attempts, about 820.
Just entire luck. What you got to remember, there was one. Well, I say it's entire luck, but there's one thing about that game that always made me. And I discovered this at a very early time when playing it. That if you get a certain configuration of the reels that come up and the hold comes up, if you hold everything, then always, and I mean always, the 3 7s will come up every time.
Really?
Every time.
Huh.
I've never.
He's been cheating. He's been cheating. He's been glitching.
You go.
I think he's got a problem with gambling.
Well, interestingly, you can hack into the game. I was reading this afternoon. There's something very simple that you can do to the game where you just get access to all the code and you can look where everything is on all the reels. And this is actually printed in the cardboard insert. But you can actually get into the game and look at all these configurations.
You press like escape twice or break it or something?
I didn't try that, but there's apparently something even... It's a bit more complicated than that. But you can do it and just get access to all the game's code. I'd like to see that, actually.
Is it a basic game?
Yes.
Yeah, well, yes. It's rendered in basic Modo, and some of the Amsoft games were you could break them straight away. Very few you could. But yeah, and get into the code with a list command.
I'm gonna actually try it right now. Let's see.
The thing I miss is, you know these old games, you'd have like a black background and like just a few colours and stuff, but it was so atmospheric, you know. Like, I mean, that Fruit Machine, I was really immersed in that for some weird reason.
It was very bright, I think, and the jackpot sequence was just insane. Send you into an athletic fit.
Yeah, that was...
No games had warning, strobe lights and flashing lights may cause seizures, and that game should have it on when it do that, when the monitor blows up effectively in front of you.
That was
Brilliant,
fantastic.
brilliant. John, what do you think about your favourite game? Sorry, Cole.
No, I was just going to say I've got to leave soon because I've got work in the morning. I've got to go. I work every Sundays, so I was kind of hoping I could hear your Novabug, favourite games before I leave.
Yeah.
And then I know it's because I've got to go. So
yeah, okay. I think like you, Steve, Harry, I've got a selection of games. I do adore Chase HQ. I think it's an amazing game. It's because it's just so unbelievably faithful to the arcade. But I think my ultimate favourite game that epitomises the system for me, I've already mentioned it. I've already played the music for it. Like Harry, I picked it as a Desert Island game. Is Dizzy, the first one. I just adore it. I adore that game. It's everything about it I just adore. It's got fantastic music. I think the style of it is awesome. The fact that it started the Dizzy franchise as well. It's ridiculously rock hard, but once you know how to play the game, it's extremely enjoyable, extremely fulfilling. And
it came free with a tape, didn't it? An Amstrad Action tape.
It wasn't the full game. That was a very, very limited cut down Amstrad Action special edition of it.
Yeah, that's right.
It's about a third of the size of the full game.
They're absolutely great choices. Do you remember Treasure Island Dizzy?
Yeah.
I think I was one of those few players, or not maybe few, but I always saw some comments in the magazines that they completed the whole game, could do everything except for one bastard fucking coin that was on the cloud.
You couldn't complete the game. You couldn't actually complete the game without having all the coins, because if you got all the
but there was one on the fucking cloud somewhere.
There were clouds behind.
Wasn't there something behind a tree that you couldn't see at all?
They're behind bushes, trees, barriers, and clouds everywhere.
That was just. But do you know what? That's my favourite one, Treasure Island Dizzy.
I love it. I do like. I mean, most of the Disney, especially the first four. The first 4 I really have a lot of fond memories. Treasure Island Dizzy. My second two, my first, well, obviously my favourite overall game is Dizzy 1, but one of my also big hits is what Dylan has already mentioned, which is Fantasy World Dizzy. I love Fantasy World Dizzy. I thought the music on it was just...
first games.
That came out of the consoles, didn't it? Like Mega Drive, and did it come out of Mega Drive?
No, that was, well, similar. The last game...
Fantastic. It was fantastic.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Sometimes known as
sometimes
known as the Fantastic Adventures of Dizzy. Is the 8th? It's technically the 8th instalment of the game, but not. No, it's not Fantasy World Dizzy. But Fantasy World Dizzy was one on the Amstrad. Loved it. I played that endlessly before I had to complete it. And I actually completed that one before Treasure Island and the first game.
Ah, right. Okay.
So. Okay. But all the Dizzy, I just have a very, very strong affinity with all Dizzy games. I love them.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. And the spin-offs, but I kind of like, even though that I know the spin-offs are kind of like weak, just because they've got Dizzy in there, it's kind of like brilliant.
Fast food,
quick stacks, fast food. So, absolutely brilliant. Listen, I've got to go, guys, because like I say, I've got to go to work in the morning. So, thanks for having me on.
Thank you very much, Cole.
It's been brilliant. Really
Thank you.
It's been emotional.
It's been emotional.
It's been emotional indeed. Thank you very much, and I'll bid you good night.
You're welcome, Carl. Cheers, mate.
Good night.
Bye now.
It's all about the pygmy horse, isn't it?
There it is, Treasure Island Dizzy. There. That I do believe that might be a Spectrum screenshot, though.
Oh, sorry.
Come on, that is not good enough.
I might kick from the stream now.
I can always tell because Dizzy is not coloured correctly.
Green highlights or like around.
He has green highlights and he has red boxing gloves.
Yeah.
I will rectify this problem.
The Spectrum version didn't render it properly. So, John, favourite game on a CPC? What was it, mate?
I would say the first proper game I brought was Ghostbusters, and I really did enjoy that game. It did go on a bit, but I did enjoy it. You know, getting more money, getting a better account. God knows how long I played that game. It was a good game. I don't know if it was my favourite game. I'd say maybe Afterburner on the Amstrad. What else did I? A lot of Codemasters games I enjoyed.
Yeah, BMX Simulator, was that one of yours?
I think it was Grand Prix Simulator. I know the graphics weren't much, but the amount of times I used to play that game with my mate just was brilliant.
Excellent choices. Excellent. Stu, there we go. It's loading Gauntlet up. Hey, look at that.
Oh, it's a great game.
Wow. There we go. I used to love that in loading screen. Fantastic. And a decent US gold game. There you go, John.
Yeah, for once.
That's actually the menu. It's, I've just selected my character.
Oh yeah, you move the cursor around. That's it. You move the cursor around and you select who you want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did anyone ever get the Lost Level? What's it called? The Dungeons one extension pack.
I had the second game, but I didn't think I had
that DLC in those days.
Yeah, early version of DLC. Yes.
Yeah, the Deeper Dungeons. The add-on.
Oh, the Deeper Dungeons. Yes.
Just noticed
that sounds.
But the season pass.
Go on, Harry.
Thor doesn't have any nipples.
No. I've always wondered what Questor is doing as well. He seems to be holding that like a very long cigarette.
He's playing snooker.
Yeah.
Jazz fire.
Stu, so what were your favourite games on the system?
Well, I grew up with the Spectrum, so I played the CPC at my cousin's house, and the only game I actually remember was Green Beret on a green screen, which is why I thought it was. This is the reason I thought it was called Green Beret, because it was on a green screen. I didn't realise that it was only green. I was saying, which button do you press to get the colours to come on? Yeah, long time ago in a caravan holiday, I remember, incredibly long ago. But yeah, but this thing, this CPC464, reminds me of the Spectrum Plus 2, and I'm guessing from pictures I've seen, if you break open a Spectrum Plus 2, it actually says Amstrad on the board.
Yes, it does, because the Spectrum Plus 2 is made by Amstrad.
Yeah. So effectively, it's probably the same machine, better graphics but less RAM.
Yeah, it just uses the similar architecture to the original Spectrum with higher RAM. Doesn't emulate. It doesn't copy the architecture of the 464. But yeah, it's just manufactured by Amstrad and flogged for a cheaper price.
Mm.
That's what they did with a slap of disc drive. Well, I think the Plus 2 was the tape deck, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And
Yeah,
then plus 3 for the disc drive.
Disc, which is the equivalent of the 6128 in Spectrum form.
So all these arguments we had in the playground, they were like
yeah. Well, it turned out if you can't, and Alan Sugar said if you can't beat them, join them, and just bought Sinclair out. Simple as that.
Classic quote of his, isn't it?
Chris.
Yeah.
What about the worst game?
Cool.
Oh,
Well,
good question.
we've got a few contestants for that, haven't we?
I've got a few.
Go on, then.
I think I liked every single game I played on this.
Motorbike Madness.
Right.
That's I might put it on later if we're still online. But you start at the top of the hill, and you sort of drive down until you get to, well, it's like, imagine like a skiing game, you know, where you go down through the slaloms. It's like that, but apparently you're a motorbike.
I vaguely remember it.
Yeah, and you get about halfway down the level and you can't proceed anymore because there's like a barrier. You can't jump it or anything, so you just get stuck. And disappointing games. Strip Poker 2.
Oh, got that. Oh, dear. Yeah.
No, me and Harry were playing it the other night, and
I know why it's disappointing.
yeah,
In like your opium den or something.
she doesn't take her clothes off. No matter how many times you beat her, she doesn't actually strip.
Which one, Don or the other one?
I don't know.
I don't remember their fucking names. Yes. One of them's called Donna. I forget what the other one's called. Oh dear.
Mara.
Dude, did you end up naked at the end?
Maradona.
She does. I'm sure one of them does. I'm sure one of them ends up naked.
Hey Stu, did you
one with
lose?
Eh?
Did you lose?
Did I lose? No.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you
until I
end up
figured out the
naked at
controls.
the end?
Yeah. See, you were sitting there naked in front of your CPC.
That's why Harold Yack is covered behind screen.
Another game which the graphics are very impressive. I was quite surprised when I turned it on. Is it's called Star Wars Droids.
Yeah.
Seen that one?
I haven't seen it. No.
You play as R2D2 and C3PO. And so far, I've walked around. You go in a lift, it takes you up to the next level. Then you walk around and you go in another lift, and it takes you down into another level. And that's it. And you're just walking around a building. The graphics are really good, but there's no gameplay.
That sounds good.
That's odd you should say that, because a lot of Spectrum fans would have jumped on that, wouldn't they? Because they one of their favourite criticisms was to say, yeah, it looks pretty, but does it play any good? And a lot of the time, unfortunately, they would be correct when it comes to certain games like Final Fight, for instance, which looked amazing, but could you play it? No, not really. So, worst games.
Would you like some Amsoft nudity? Amstrad nudity.
Hey!
That looks more like Windows 3.1.
Voulez-vous changer de carte? Oui.
Yeah, another one is Roland in the Caves.
No! How can you name that? It's a bad game. Schwein.
It's funny really, because that was like that Super Meat Boy game that before it was like it was like that kind of thing. It was just impossible, but like a quick restart kind of thing.
Yeah. I like Roland in the Caves. I like that.
I didn't like it because there was no real skill. It was just luck whether you landed in the right place or not.
It's weird because you were like a flea with like these pterodactyl things going on. It was just a really strange premise, you know.
That's where, as Harry said, it was a conversion or renamed version of Bugaboo on the Spectrum. Well, I'm going to come back to my most hated game, and I think we all know what I hate on the CPC.
No, it's got to be Bridget. That's the worst game.
Oh, Pit Fighter. Oh, God.
Oh, that was shit. Yeah.
Oh,
I had a request to do a review on that, and I hated it.
Well, I just can't. There's something about it. It kind of makes me laugh in a way because it's trying to be clever by doing the scaling, but it just looks ridiculous. And you can barely move.
I mean, it was never really a good game to start with.
No, it was always. I think it's a crap game. Full stop.
It was terrible,
but it was just particularly bad on the Amstrad. But at least the saving grace is, and this is weird you can say this, and I think most of you agree with this, the saving grace is it's actually still a better version than the Super Nintendo's version, which is terrible.
I think that's pretty commendable that they even tried to do the scaling.
I think it is, but it just doesn't.
Possible.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. What other bad games that I really didn't like? I mean, the first Double Dragon, I've already mentioned that.
The Vindicators.
Outrun.
That's the tank. Outrun. Oof, yeah, we've already had Outrun on. Vindicators is the one with the tanks, isn't it?
No, it's sort of like this guy in like a space station or something. And he's walking around and he's got to collect oxygen, and it's sort of like a pseudo 3D kind of thing. And you walk into these like hangars and there's like an alien there, and it's just impossible, like, you know, and it's like a whole massive maze system. I'll try to get into it. But I mean, it's one of my favourite games, but it was just impossible, you know. So it's.
What was one of your favourite games, Dylan? 'Cause I haven't asked you.
I think the obvious thing for me is Turrican 1 or Turrican 2.
Oh, they were great.
They were just because they were actually like completable games.
Yeah.
And they were just such a solid experience at the time, you know. It was like
it's a very cross-platform game, is Turrican, especially Turrican 2. Everyone.
I personally think it was the best looking version of Turrican 1 was on the Amstrad, just with the.
It did look good. I think everyone, Amiga fans, Lord Turrican, TurboGrafx 16, also Lord Turrican. It's one of them games that seems to work very well on when it's done well in colours. Fantastic.
Yeah, and like the big thing to me, you know, when one of like the first things that impressed me about games is like parallax scrolling, and the first time I ever experienced that was on the Amstrad and Turrican, on like the later levels, you know, there's nice coloured backgrounds, and especially on Turrican 2 as well. It was just completely impressed me, that game. You know,
it didn't do a lot of parallax scrolling, but it did have the ability to do it. Yeah, and
it's the first
there
thing
was another. Fantastic. There was another game. Shame Giles is not here actually, because he actually gave me a request to do this on one of my gameplays, which was The Way of the Tiger, and that has really nice parallax scrolling going on. So it's very smart looking. So. Brilliant.
It's Turrican, but I mean also I played a lot of like the Codemasters packs.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of the like fond memories of like Ghost Hunters and stuff like that, and the Robin Hood game. And
I also think some of us have got
weird stuff you get. You know, sorry.
We certainly do. I think we also have a lot of split opinions about some games. I mean, a lot of us, especially you, John, say that Bridget is absolutely terrible, but I don't mind it. Really, don't mind it.
It was the worst game.
It's not the worst.
It is pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
The music on it was absolutely awful. What was it? Jingle bells combined with it like one ball.
Harry knows what it is.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Because I said it wrong earlier. I said it was "We Wish You a Merry Christmas."
And I said Jingle Bells with something else.
How comes we never see Harry?
There's a picture of me there. Is that not enough for you?
Yeah.
That's what he looks like. That I know. I've met him. He is like that.
It's
Isn't that right,
Steve?
He's exactly like that. He carries around a bag of twigs and everything.
This picture.
This is an unrelated CPC question.
Yeah.
Who won the football, Germany or the other team? Ghana.
Hey?
Ghana,
Who
I
won
think.
the football tonight?
I don't know. I haven't been watching the football. I've been doing this all night.
Well, judging by Facebook, I'd say Ghana. Because they got all pictures of the little black kids dancing around in their underpants. So imagine that.
See, Stuart's playing Turrican now. Not Turrican, sorry, Gauntlet. I've got to go and play it. Oh, he's just died.
No, where's the function keys?
Well, there'd be the small keys.
Was it? Because it says press F1 for potion, and I was like, there is no F1.
Normally the small keys at the side.
John,
It's the numeric. They're the function keys.
Yeah, the numeric keys, yeah.
John, Germany drew 2-2.
Bloody hell.
Really?
That is surprising. Anyway, we've got enough about the World Cup.
I think
I take it no one's interested in the World Cup here.
one of the other worst games I played is Renegade 3 because it was just impossible.
That was crap.
It looked really nice and it was just really
I hate Renegade 3 on any system.
absolutely
It was the worst
impossible.
game ever.
Too hard. Yeah.
I like Bombjack. Bombjack was one of my favourites.
Great game.
On
Bombjack I liked. Really
one
good.
and 2, even though 2 is vastly different to 1.
Hmm.
I like them both.
I liked
They
the
were really
first
well.
one. That was a very good game. Very addictive.
We haven't mentioned the Freescape games, which were very early 3D. What did everyone make of that? I mean, Total Eclipse, for instance, Driller, Hard Driving.
Oh, yes.
Crap.
I think at the time they were pretty amazing.
They were very ambitious, weren't they?
But there was actually another game which you'll know that's a lot smoother than those games. I don't know what it's called. I don't think it's a Freescape game. It's sort of like a cyberpunk kind of game.
Right. What was it called? There was a space game. I can't remember what it was called.
It's really well known. There's runs amazing, like Sentinel or something like that. I don't think it was Sentinel. It was something like that.
What's it called?
Oh, sorry.
I remember getting Total Eclipse, and I found it very difficult to play them games.
Yeah.
It was impressive. It was impressive because it did put you in an environment, that 3D environment, and it was interesting. But it was just so difficult to move around, I thought, and it had a lot going on for the system to handle. But you know, hats off, they tried this kind of stuff, and now we got things like Wolfenstein 3D. So there you go, early FPSs. Now what's that there? That's similar. Yeah.
That is Driller.
That's Driller. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Chris,
that's
can
Driller.
we go to the comments at this moment?
Yes, of course. Yeah. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Yeah, let's do some comments, and then we'll think about wrapping this up, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Colo CPC says the worst multiloader, I think, was in Dragons of Flame, as it was actually loads of pictures of each hero, all 10 of them, before loading the actual game.
Oh, for fuck's sake! You could have drawn your head in, wouldn't it?
Sounds like Gauntlet earlier. Psycho Stalker says, where do I go on eBay to try and buy another Amstrad CPC?
Everywhere.
On eBay, I think.
Yeah. What do you mean, where do I go on eBay? Exactly. I don't get what that means. On eBay, yeah. That's
sort of like a
Gumtree.
wall, my question. On eBay.
My brother-in-law is selling a very good Amstrad CPC at the moment, but
How much?
he refuses to sell it to me.
He's selling it, but he refuses to sell it.
I tell you, he refuses to sell it to me because he would rather give it to me, but he can't afford to give it to me, if you understand that. Because he's a businessman and he deals in trades. And because he gets this thing about, being a game trader and being a game collector, he doesn't want to charge me for it, but he can't afford not to, if you understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he... So I'm sitting there, I'm offering him money, and he's saying, no, because I want more from it that I want to charge you, and I don't want to charge you, but I've got to sell it for business purposes.
I
Fair
really
enough.
want Amstrad just to do basic on and stuff like that.
He's got to sell it for business purposes. Is he an eBay trader?
He is, yes. It's one of his jobs. One of his jobs is a trader in everything retro electric. That is his business name. It's called Dan's Retro Electric, and he has got a warehouse full of retro stuff.
If he needs any graphics doing, send him my way.
I'll give him a shout.
There you go. Back to the comments.
Yes, comments.
Psycho Stalker. Once you've owned the Amstrad CPC, which I have, you will always cherish it.
Damn right.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's one of them machines.
He
It was
also
really
says,
sad for me because my parents actually sold mine to buy food. It was like really heartbreaking.
oh dear.
Or drugs or something. I don't know, because it was the 90s, you know, when when your parents were kind of like a bit dodgy.
Food wasn't available, apparently.
Sold it for a Blur CD.
Comments, yes.
Yeah, Castardo says, about the nostalgia. Unfortunately, due to technical limitations of systems like the Amstrad and Spectrum, many of the games haven't aged gracefully at all. Even well-programmed games suffer greatly from the limited speed and graphic capabilities. It makes people appreciate them now, but it's a pretty difficult task.
You see, that argument about games aging is one thing I've never really got on board with, because you can only really develop what you've got at the time. You can't, technology will progress. It's a natural thing, and so this thing about this hasn't aged well or whatever, I don't think it applies to video games. Maybe it applies to films, because films is generally the same medium when you're not chucking in shitloads of CGI. But with video games, technology fundamentally changes what you can achieve in the game and what you can. So I don't ever have the argument of the game hasn't aged well.
Well, I've got a question. Will people? Sorry, Dylan, go on.
I think they've really aged well. Just like, I mean, if you look at that RoboCop screenshot of that, just the colours and everything, it stands head and shoulders above. I mean, the Commodore 64, the Spectrum. I think it's sort of like, it's almost up there like the Master System, just the.
Well, this idea of them aging as well. Why are so many indie developers making games on modern platforms which look old?
Yeah.
There you go.
Because they're beautiful, basically.
Because people like that look. They want a video game to look like a video game. They don't want it to look like it's walking out your front door. Oh, it's realistic. I think that's what we're getting to the point now in graphical ability where everything looks so hyper realistic. We're like, well, we can't really go far anywhere. I mean, you look at some of the stuff that's on the PS4 and Xbox One, Wii U now. It's so hyper realistic. You're like, where are we going with this? Now we're almost playing with real life.
Defeating the purpose of games. It's
a game, and we want a game to look like a game. And I think, especially the retro people. Yeah.
I've got a question though. Those people who say that the Amstrad games haven't aged well, will they be saying the same thing about Flappy Bird in 10 years' time?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean,
like 10 minutes
or one of the most overrated fucking games that pisses me off, Angry Birds. What? Big deal. Angry Birds. Don't get it. Don't get Angry Birds at all.
It's amazing how bad it is and how it like
one at a time, please.
Internet,
Sorry, Dylan?
No, I was saying the thing I like about that game, that Flappy Bird thing, is it's terrible, but like it broke the internet, and it was like, it just makes me laugh because it makes you, it shows me that there's like this sort of like a video game crash coming at the moment. I mean, when that game can become so big, it just shows there's a serious.
But it's all a result of casual gaming, though, isn't it? That is a result of casual gaming on
Android.
Android.
Kind of got behind that,
I bloody didn't. I completely ignored it for the most part. I thought it was an absolute pile of fucking shit.
Yeah, it's completely. It's really bad. It's like, but that's what I liked about it. It's like,
well, that's why I never got the Angry Birds thing. That's
and like the guy almost committed suicide over it. It's like this big emotional indie story based around this bird with no legs. It's like, that's what I like.
But well, if you it's like the recent Phil Fish stuff with Fez. It's just that's the publicity whore. Sorry, that's what that is. Publicity whore. He reckons that everyone needs to owe him money if they use Fez footage. You know what? Bollocks.
I love that.
Anyway, back to the subject in hand.
Oh yes, comments, I believe.
Fez reminds me of an Amstrad game. The colours and stuff. Really uncompromising.
Comments.
Yes, the Psycho Stalker says his favourite 3 games: All Mummy, Quick Snacks, and Italia 90. One playable football game back then.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a Mega Drive game?
I'm sorry, you put in Quick Snacks there. Quick Snacks is very underrated. Very good game.
Nice looking, isn't it?
Was it a bit like Clax?
Quick Snacks?
Yeah.
No, it's a more of a maze adventure kind of game.
Right.
Single screen. The last version of Dizzy, which was ever released, was on the Master System. It was called the Excellent Collection of Dizzy or something like that. And there was a version of Quick Snacks on that, which they retitled Go Dizzy Go. And it's just as fun. Really good. Really good, fun game. Go Dizzy Go. It's really good.
Go Dizzy, go. that the theme tune for it? Speaking of Dizzy, Engelbert the Third says, Fantastic Dizzy now is quite pricey for the NES and Mega Drive. Interestingly, they didn't come in official cartridges.
No.
But the Mega Drive version has a pretty nice shell design, and I'm glad I've got it in my collection.
It's like an arcade
Well,
game.
there are two versions on the NES. This is actually jumping away from CPC, but there are two versions on the NES. There was one from for the Aladdin deck enhancer, which didn't take off. There was a thing to upgrade the NES.
Really?
It was an experimental thing. I forget who made it now, but you plugged it into the front of the NES, and you plugged your game cart into that.
Wow.
And it was to enhance the game to make it closer to the Mega Drive and closer to the SNES. It didn't take off. There was about 3 or 4 games released for it. Fantastic Dizzy was one of them. It came in 2 versions. It came in the standard version, Silver Edition, I believe, and the other version was the Gold Edition.
Oh, crikey, I've never heard of this device.
Yes, the Aladdin Deck Enhancer, it's called.
Oh, gonna have to look that up at some point.
It's a rare little thing.
And staying on the subject of Dizzy, Colo CPC says, the Darling twins wrote most of their early Specky games on the Amstrad, and then transferred them over to the Specky.
Did they?
Cable.
Wow.
So don't worry about showing a Spectrum picture of Dizzy, as it originated on the 464 as well.
Yeah, but it wasn't the Darling twins that programmed Dizzy, it was the Oliver twins.
Whoops. Sorry, Colo, we didn't mean to correct you or anything.
And they did program on the Spectrum first. So,
oh dear.
It's a common thing. The Oliver twins work with Codemasters, and Codemasters are the Darling brothers. So that's where the confusion happens. Someone said to me the other day, what is the picture that in Burning Rubber, when you drive along the street, there's a picture of 2 faces, and everyone says, what is that picture? Why is there two faces of 2 pictures? And I tell you, that is a picture of the Darling brothers, because they helped develop Burning Rubber, but they're not credited as the Codemasters. There you go. I know this shit facts.
At least they got the face in the game.
Yeah, it is a little fun aside.
Yeah. Right. Jail76 Gaming says, wow, is this still going?
Oh, bastard.
Yeah, 30 years, still going.
Yeah, we can talk, talk CPC all night, but he'd be glad to know that I've got to turn in soon. So.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll wrap up these comments so we can do that. Colo CPC. There were 2 versions of Double Dragon 1 and 2, and the good version was truly epic.
I didn't know there was 2 versions of Double Dragon 2. Steve?
No.
Oh.
No, just the one, I think.
I thought there was only 1.
Yeah.
I think I've heard of this.
There was 2 versions of Double Dragon. I know that.
Yeah, there was, yeah.
Very good in the normal one.
One was good and one was bad.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Good.
One was bad and one weren't that good.
I have to look. I have to look that up, Colo.
I played them both, reviewed them both. Didn't think much of them.
What do you think of Double Dragon 2, John?
Never played it.
Right. Fair enough.
I only played the first 2 because it was a request. That's the only time I played it.
We're making you play these bad games for the internet.
Oh my God, he's got Samantha Fox Strip Poker up.
What?
Oh, it's pixelated.
Come on, Yak, what's your 2 worst games?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't said that.
I'm gonna have to put Bridget in there.
Yeah.
Ow.
I've played a lot of terrible type-ins, but I guess they don't count.
Bridget, you have to play. It's painful.
I think most type-ins are better than Bridget.
No, it's nothing worse than Bridget.
I've played. No, I've never played a type-in that's worse than Bridget. I like Bridget. It's
No.
nice. I do.
I hate it.
What, is Bridget's a character in Sam Fox Strip Poker, is she?
It's,
It's like a shit version of Lemmings. It's a shit version of Lemmings.
What is?
And Lemmings is a good game. Bridget.
How is it nothing? How is it like Lemmings?
I don't know.
How's it like-
It's got people walking on
Close
cliffs.
the bridge, you know. I know Lemmings was a good game. I had that for my Amiga, but Bridget was absolutely shit.
Actually, it's a good point you bring up, actually, because the CPC version of Lemmings is actually rather epic.
I've never played the CPC version. I've heard it's so very good. There's, Zypho, he done a review on it.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, that looks pretty decent for the
I was trying to get Zypho on tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He couldn't quite make it, but he did send me a message to say that he did want to come on. So hopefully we'll speak to Zypho.
Yeah,
sometime.
we should make some time for him to come on one time. We'll do an interview with him or something.
Yeah, good to speak to Zypho.
Plenty of time for more Amstrad CPC streams.
You know, he was the first person I ever subscribed to on YouTube.
Was he?
He's one of my. Well, I've got a video actually going to upcoming soon about. It's going to be a waffle about YouTube inspirations and Zypho features.
Oh.
So
I might do one of those. Maybe. Probably not.
you won't.
And to wrap up the comments, Long Boys Post 1975. Hello,
Mr. Spectrum.
Yeah, he says, always jealous of Renegade as a kid, but I'll deny it if you tell anybody. Thanks for that.
Renegade, Target Renegade and the Spectrum was one of the best games for the system, wasn't it?
Amstrad was good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I was trying to get Bridget working, but unfortunately my emulator's
No,
not.
don't
I was going to treat you to an outro of Bridget.
I've only got one ball.
Shall we just try something before we leave here? We'll try and play a game together. Don't worry, it's a text adventure game.
Go on then. Sounds
Right,
good.
here we go.
Good.
Here you go, Chris. Where's my bad game?
Go on. Yes, go for it.
Right. I'm going to mention this now. I dare any of you to review it. It's not on YouTube.
Oh.
Basically, he does this a lot.
I played it on the Commodore 64 at a friend's house, and I was blown away by the graphics and the game.
I'll bet you were. Yeah.
And I looked on Computer Video Games magazine. I was reading the review of the Commodore 64 version. It was excellent. It is the worst game on the Amstrad. It was the biggest disappointment for me. No. It's Alien Syndrome on the Amstrad.
Syndrome.
Yeah, Alien Syndrome. Sega.
I've heard of it.
Oh, I have heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, Alien Syndrome. I dare you, any of you, review it. It's awful.
I'll review it.
I will. Yeah, I'll give it a go. I think me and John will both give it a go.
I'll give it a go. You give it a go. We see who does it.
Just you watch tomorrow. Everybody will upload a video of this Alien Syndrome.
Oh, it's awful.
You know what I'll say? It's a load of fucking shit.
Right, we're going to give you a blast of this.
Oh, no.
Before we go into Harry's. Where should we go? Yeah, number of lives. Number of lives, 1 to 50.
One.
1. Okay, give it 10. Oh shit! It was straight in.
Oh, we can't hear the audio. That's good.
No, I've got to turn that off.
Jeez, we're suckers for punishment playing this game again and again and again on these streams.
Why do I always end up playing this game? You see that?
That's the shit effects.
Maybe it isn't so bad.
It's streaming so slow. This isn't. It actually goes a lot faster than this. Believe it or not, people.
Really? I think it's slow. Perhaps it's easy.
Oh, I've already lost him. Shit.
Who's playing it? Come on.
Haven't you seen my gameplay on it, John?
Yeah.
Harry comments. Oh, he.
I think we all done a version of this.
Work.
I think mine was the most controversial though. Saying there's Jews and Adolf Hitler's coming down to look for his missing testicle.
I just realised I was pressing the wrong button there, and I was closing the wrong bridge. These guys, you see, they're all on their way home from the piss house, and they can't work out when a bridge is fucking open or closed, and that's what you've got to take them. All in their pink arms.
Pink arms.
Look at their pink arms! Look at the pink arms!
We've got Minecraft.
Oh, I can't get past this third bridge, bollocks.
We've got Minecraft heads.
I'll turn it off now, fuck it. God. We'll go for your text adventure.
Alright, just to wrap us up, I thought this might be fun. We could play this together. You can tell me what to type in. Here we go. This is a game called Boredom by Simon Avery, and it's filled with spelling errors, etc. Right, you are Baz, a rather disappointing example of British...
Disappointing?
Yes, spelled incorrectly. You live in a small town which scores a massive -1 on a popular nightlife. To escape this boredom, you decide to go and find heaven. The only problem is, you have led a far from angelic lifestyle, so you can't get there by the normal and acceptable route, i.e. dying. Good luck, Baz. You're gonna need it. Oh yeah, don't play this game if easily offended. Thank you.
It's got one of them, it's got one of them disclaimers that John puts on all his videos. Brilliant.
Right, we've got a wall of text.
Yeah, we're swearing.
A wall of text. Do you want me to read it?
You are in a bedroom, looking around. You take it all in, the little features that make it entirely yours. The numerous cutouts for magazines sellotaped to the walls and pinned to the back of the door is a picture of Maggie Thatcher. The picture is punctured by many small holes from darts that you throw from bed. Must be Rick's, R.I.P. Rick Mile. It's Rick's bedroom. You have failed to score when you have come home from the pub alone. The rest of your grubby flat lies east. East, the whole thing does. A bed and wardrobe are your only furniture here, except for a large mirror screwed to the ceiling above your bed. What now? Look at the mirror.
Okay. Oh.
No, it didn't work.
I can't, silly.
Open wardrobe.
Okay, he's opened the wardrobe.
Okay, tell me what? Tell me what? Come out of the wardrobe.
Look, wardrobe.
I've typed in what, and he says, sorry.
I'm only an Amstrad, you know.
With these big words, I'm only an Amstrad, you know. Pause for massive complaints.
Oh, go east.
Do you want to look in the wardrobe?
If I type look, I'll show you what happens if I type look. It takes us to just look.
Go east.
Just type east, don't type go.
What do you mean I can't, silly? East, yeah.
Just type east.
Yeah. You're in a hallway, large door lies at the bottom with a short flight of stairs and a doorway that leads east and another west. Downstairs. Oh, yeah.
Right, I typed east. We're in the kitchen, decorated in typical bachelor style. Dirty plates overflow from the mostly hidden sink. The bread bin sits on a counter. The fridge stands moodily in one corner. Its door swings open on broken hinges. And the doorway leads west.
Look in fridge.
Quit.
Examine fridge, yeah.
Kill self.
Harry, this sounds quite familiar.
Yeah, this is my game. I wrote it. It's all about my life. There doesn't seem to be much left in the fridge, which doesn't really matter, as it doesn't work anyway. You vaguely remember that all the edible food was eaten when you had a party here last month.
Vaguely.
Yeah, vaguely, yeah. Oh my.
You found something, aren't you clever? Hey? Examine something, look at something.
Right, I can also see some cheese.
Some cheese. Eat cheese. Oh, you can't! You got a mouth, any?
Right, there we go.
Oh, right, there we go. You got to save that first. Oh, hang on a minute, it's killed him. Oh,
yes!
That's pretty impressive. It's gone then.
You lose half of your remaining teeth.
Must have gone off.
Serum pain says you fall to the floor and die. Oh, lovely.
It took 14 turns to die. Isn't that the idea of the game, though, to die?
The funny thing is,
the
person who made this has probably lived in that nightmare now, you know.
Oh my word. Oh dear.
This probably is life.
If you want to download the game, it's called Boredom by Simon Avery.
I'll have a check on that. Is it on the CPC game resource?
I can't remember where I got it.
Oh, look on the games resource. It's normally there.
Is it like a new game or something?
It may be on the same place that I downloaded the Can I Cheat Death game. No, actually, no. This was... Yeah, it is. This is a public domain game, I believe.
Don't know when the games resource was last updated. Anyway, it's years old. So, anyway, I think it's time to bid a farewell tonight.
Is that game called Boredom?
It's called Boredom, yes.
Bloody hell,
Find it, John. Give it a review.
I've got it.
Do you guys remember that Cluedo game? I think that came with the Amstrad pack.
Possibly.
Cluedo?
Yeah, I think the Cycle Stalker named that as one of his favourite games.
That was really immersive.
Let's get him on here.
Right.
Left.
Oh, we'll just end this then, I think, now.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
Said a fantastic 30 years of Amstrad CPC464 love. And
Yes.
I'm going to say a big thank you to all my guests that have come on tonight. Carl Woodland, 37, earlier on. Giles Evo Haler, thank you guys for coming on. Steve, brilliant. Stu, brilliant. John, lovely to see you and speak to you. Of
Good.
course.
Good. Great. It's great to see you all.
It's fantastic, mate. Dylan, thank you very much for your...
Yeah, it's been really good. When are we doing the Spectrum one?
Oh.
You're banned.
And a big thank you to my co-host Harry Yack. Thank you very much. Couldn't have done without you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I think you need to thank the blue and yellow Amstrad screen as well.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Amstrad.
I said a big happy birthday, Amstrad, and a big thank you to Lord Sugar, of course. We're forgetting him.
Lord.
Okay. Thank you to everyone who's bothered to tune in and watch this. I hope we've done something for your evening. Something
If
like
we
that.
ain't tough shit.
Yeah, because we've had fun. So
And he's to the 40th.
happy birthday, Amstrad. Yes, another 10 years, and who knows?
Another 30 years.
Can I ask a question? Will we be here 30 years from now? So
I would hope so. I'd only be 67, so I hope I'll still be alive.
Well, I'll be 70.
I remember when I was a kid, we used to play these things called video games.
And it was called a CPC. Yes.
And it still works.
Yeah, I don't think it'll work then. I tell you what, it'll probably be.
Will. I don't use it.
You know what? I bet it will work.
I bet it will work. Actually, it'll probably work more than say if you bought an Xbox One now. I bet you it probably would. And on that note, happy birthday, Amstrad CPC464, and good night, everyone.
Happy birthday, Amstrad CPC. Good night.
Bye bye.
How do we